again next week for an MLS on TSN doubleheader on Saturday.
They knew it would be a long road to possible gold after falling into a tiebreaker. Team Canada face an uphill climb, needing 4 straight wins to win it all. Yesterday, step 1, a 9-8 win over the United States, and doing it with near perfection. Now, the magic number is 3, and this time the opponent is the talk of the tournament, Team Korea. Can Heather Nedohin's crew survive step number 2? It's Canada, it's Korea, the 3-4 game from the Ford Worlds. As the teams take their place at center ice to be acknowledged and introduced to the crowd here at the Enmax Center, it is Korea and Canada ready to battle in the 3-4 page playoff. The winner advancing to tonight's semifinal. She has been the story of the week. Ji-Sun Kim at 8-3, grabbing the 3rd spot. Last night, Sweden in an extra end, winning over Switzerland. Margareta Sigfridsson from Skellefteå going right through to Sunday's gold medal. Switzerland, Miriam Ott from Davos will slide into tonight's semifinal and await the winner of today's game. Is on this Saturday afternoon. We say hello, Canada. Welcome back to our continuing coverage of these Ford Women's Worlds. Linda Russell alongside. Boy, who would have thought? I mean, I think the whole curling world is surprised at this dramatic turnaround by Korea. 2-9 a year ago. Here they go 8-3. Yet questions still remain.
Well, you have to wonder if there's a little bit of relief on this team for making the playoffs. Is the edge off a little bit? Secondly, they cannot simulate what's about to happen to them. They're professional curlers, but they can't train this environment, playing Canada in this building. And of course, the other possibility is they're going to play really well. We saw how well they scored in round robin. They could really make it tough for Canada.
Lots of brave talk from the Canadians after Thursday, but they came out in that tiebreak against Alison Pottinger, and to use the cliche, they walked the walk.
They certainly did. Full marks pick, no question about it. Unbelievable turnaround from the bad Thursday. The attitude was back. The communication was back. The weight control was back. All 4 players, 93%. The confidence, it's a wonderful thing, Vic.
Canada against Korea here in the 3-4. The winner moves on to play Switzerland in the semifinal.
'12 Ford World Women's Curling is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association.
It could be 7 in the morning.
Or 10 at night.
In Chilliwack, BC.
Or St. Peter's, Nova Scotia.
It could be Michelle.
Or Mark. Or Jen.
But whenever.
Wherever you order that cup of Tim Hortons premium blend coffee.
You know that it's always.
Always.
Always fresh.
From Newfoundland and Labrador to Vancouver Island, it's always fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Heather Nedohin and the Canadians trying to put together 2 terrific games yesterday. One of their better ones after that disastrous Thursday. Now set to meet the Koreans in this 3-4 game. Time to meet the teams, and it's brought to you by Ford. Drive one.
Hi, I'm Heather Nedohin, skiff of Team Canada. At lead is Lainey Peters. At second is Jessica Mayer. Third, Beth Iskew. And we curl out of the Saville Center in Edmonton, Alberta.
안녕하세요. 저는 스키 김지선입니다. 저희 팀 리드 김은지, 세컨 신미성, 서드 이슬비, 저희는 경기도 체육회 팀입니다.
We thank all the teams this week for introducing themselves in their native languages. And by virtue of their 8-3 record, Korea had the chance to select either the last rock or the stones. They've elected to go with the hammer. As you can see, Ji-Sun Kim looking around. That's one of the question marks, of course, how they will respond here. They are the focus. This is the only game now on the ice. So Korea has the last rock in the opening end, playing the red stones. Canada plays the yellow, and to get us underway, with a spot in the semis on the line, the Canadian lead is Lainey Peters.
Well, there may be no better example of how the game goes beyond just making shots. It's making shots within this environment, in this fishbowl, Vic, you've called it in the past. This single sheet, everybody watching you, and yes, Korea is technically superb, has great numbers, but can you bring that performance upon demand on this day?
15-9. Make it good.
It's so much different. You can't replicate it at all. It's the silence that's really deafening. When 4 sheets are going, there's people yelling, there's the crowd noise, there's a constant buzz. All of a sudden, you get in the hack here and everything stops, and it's just so different mentally.
Now, one thing we will point out, Vic, is although she's tied for 10th amongst the leads, you'll notice that the numbers between the two leads are not that much different, just 3 percentage points. You have to be in that top 80% range to be a good lead, and most of them were there.
It'll be interesting to see how aggressive the Canadians are here if they do take the game to the Koreans.
That's a great point, because we're saying it's a mental side of the game thing, and yes, you should be aggressive and push Korea to make the big shots. It's hard for Canada. They don't have the hammer in the first end. They did what they could, Canada putting the rock out in front, but you cannot ignore the rock now in the back of the house.
Hard! Quick! No, we're nose. 9. Nicely done.
So if you're assuming Korea might be a little nervous, I think they should keep it simple, doing exactly what they are now. Draw it open, keep it open, and gain the confidence of those simpler shots, and then push yourself a little bit as this game progresses.
The game plan is brought to you by World Financial Group. Your dreams, our strategy.
It's moving a little bit here. Stick with the 9-5. Okay.
Jessica Mayer. Wonderful. The numbers the whole team threw against the U.S. and Allison Pottinger. Where Pottinger got caught, particularly in the second, was on the ice reading. Canadians picked it up, Russ, before the Americans did.
They certainly did, especially in that second crucial end. A couple of overcurls, a bad overcurl on a freeze attempt, allowed Canada to set 3, and then a complete mistake by Allison. Really, that was the game right there.
So it's clear that Korea does not want to mix it up, especially with an opposition guard. They will keep this wide open and attempt to blank. I still think that's probably a good idea.
And so here is the result of that tiebreaker on Friday afternoon. Canada wins at 9-8. There you see the numbers, wonderful numbers. The 4 in the second after Allison Pottinger missed both her stones in the second. Also, the Canadians played a wonderful shot, a plan B shot off of Beth Iskew, taking out a guard, rolling the shooter in. It left a draw for 4, and then the Canadians rode that to the win.
It was a great example, Vic, the one you just mentioned, of how things turned around for Canada. As Russ said, things like communication were not very good on Thursday, and suddenly with the plan B shot, it was the perfect weight selection. That was the skip making a clear choice, and then the perfect plan B call and brushing. So everything came together.
So the shooter not staying in play.
Line good.
And Korea has a chance to open things up now.
This is going to be a fascinating game. I think a lot of the people feel that Korea just won't be able to hang in there under this pressure cooker, and that that's quite possible. But Canada's under extreme pressure also. They're the theory with Canada is they're supposed to win, but my favorite line is, under pressure you fall to your level of preparation, and this Korean team is well prepared. You practice 3, 4, 5 hours a day. Their execution's good. The deliveries are flawless, and they're going to make a lot of shots.
Line's good. 3-4. New path. New path. 3. Easy.
Even something like that communication, Linda, suggests to you what? The awareness. She's come dialed in to yell down new path.
Yes, exactly. Canada has been quite good about understanding the ice and stones. Well, what fell apart on Thursday was a lot of the team things. So I think those team things are coming together, and that's that constant conversation from Heather to the brushers and back and forth. Exactly getting Beth Stone in the right spot. This is a straight little spot. They actually get on the brushing early to make sure it does peel it off, but then it goes quite straight next to center line.
Same thing.
A nice crisp throw here.
So as the game progresses, if you want a guard up there, if Heather was trying harder to retain a guard, for example, to steal, you might want to move it around a little bit. If you put it right on center, it's actually easy to peel running the rock right next to center.
You can almost put the broom right where you want to have it finish.
Hey, we're out there more. Make it good. We're going that way. Yep, you gotta go tight.
You gotta go for line, guys.
Really tight. Gotta go, gotta go.
This is a little wire, so it might be a little fresher path. That would mean a hair slower spot.
Make it good, make it good.
It's real tight.
Tight, tight.
Easy.
Nicely done, Beth.
Okay, good sweep. Good sweep.
You can see how slow it is to curl as well. We saw the same thing last night. The curl is all late. It does, once it crosses the hog line, make a move, but you have to be a little careful that you move the corner guards wide enough or tight enough that you can get by them into this path.
Whoa. Yep.
Trying to avoid the nose hit here, trying to roll it away.
좀만 더. Okay,
Good.
really defensive.
Yeah.
잘했어.
But that ability to peel is the reason we're saying that Canada at some point will have to be a little more aggressive, because you're not going to get an open miss from Korea. Technically superb and do love to hit, and they'll peel those rocks right to the side fairly easily.
I'm thinking 14 and a half is nice.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. Yeah, let's go.
At 105, Lainey?
Yeah.
This spot historically is very quick. It won't be right now because it's the first end. There's still lots of fresh pebble on the ice, but it's certainly faster this way than into the middle.
It's interesting too, we haven't really mentioned it, but because the teams don't draw to the button anymore, it's what they play in round robin play, we don't see the same polishing of the pass to the middle. We actually see a different kind of preparation because they go in practice without needing to draw the button for hammer. So we actually still get the sides quite keen, but the center, you're never really sure because they haven't played that same draw to the button over and over.
Exactly right.
So the stone hangs on down at the back edge of the 12. There is backing there. Something kind of crazy might happen if you jam it and hard enough, bounces back. But this young lady, 24-year-old Ji-sun Kim, in her second world appearance, a former Korean junior champion, last year went 2-9 in Esbjerg at the Worlds. And what a turnaround. Korea going 8-3.
It is reminiscent of China. China was a more steady progression, but entered in 2005 and won the Worlds in 2009. You wonder if Korea can do it even faster. Just amazing.
Gets away with a jam at the back. Their first appearance was in Bismarck, North Dakota, back in 2002, and look what they did. Rio went 0-9, and then they followed it up 3-8, 2-9. It's just a wow.
Now this little skip the last couple years, the record was pretty low, but you saw the potential, Russ. I know you mentioned it several times.
I remember saying to my wife, Wendy, in Korea, in Denmark last year, that I thought Korea could make the playoffs this year. We all marveled at the shot-making ability. The strategy was a little weak. They gave up a whole pile of big ends, sometimes when they were leading. But they flipped that around. The strategy's been very, very good, and that's made the difference, I think.
Final stone for Canada, making a play on that Korean stone, back of the 12. Korea does have last rock here in this first.
Just clean. Easy, clean. We're good. We've got nose. Good throw, Nick Allen.
Nice recovery.
little trouble with the landing gear, Vic.
See the
It can get
bobble
windy
dance.
here in Lethbridge.
I thought I was going down. I thought I was going.
But not quite under the center of gravity when the kick started.
That was the bubble dance. It was a good recovery.
If you want to see some good balance, here comes here right now. Ji-Sun Kim. What I love about this no lift delivery is the throwing arm. Keep an eye on that throwing arm. It's very relaxed. I think that gives you better feel. It allows you to give you a little more rotation. It's a little bit of a bend there, and it straightens it out. Not really a push, just a guide.
Final stone looking for the blank here in this opening end. So a blank goes on the board here in the first Korea-Canada in the 3-4 page playoff.
The 2012 Ford World Women's Curling is brought to you by Tim Hortons Real Fruit Smoothies. Get new peach mango. By Capital One. What's in your wallet? And by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle.
To increase fuel efficiency, it injects tiny droplets of fuel directly into the combustion chamber, so you can enjoy every drop. The all-new Ford Focus.
When the world came to Victoria in 2005, Team Canada's Randy Ferbey had to first win a tiebreaker, then a page playoff game, a semifinal, and ultimately the championship title. Moments that world curling fans will never forget. And now, it's all coming back. The 2013 Ford World Men. Tickets on sale now.
Welcome to Transamerica, where together we're transforming tomorrow.
Your husband put this all together when Emma was born.
He was an amazing man.
This is for you. It's all paid off.
And this is for Emma.
So where do you think she'll go?
Anywhere she wants.
We're making people a more secure tomorrow. What can we make with you? Transamerica. Transform tomorrow.
It was the kind of weekend that your friends are always going to remember. And your neighbors would rather forget.
It has an available dual-clutch 6-speed automatic transmission that changes gears so efficiently, you can get up to 977 highway kilometers on a single tank, changing the way you think about changing gears. The all-new Ford Focus.
Before we got the Capital One Aspire card, we never had enough miles to get away together.
Aloha.
Isn't it beautiful, honey? Let me show you around. Wait till you see the clubhouse.
I can see you, Carl.
But now, thanks to Aspire, I get double miles on all my purchases, so we can actually get away together.
The Aspire card. Get 2 reward miles on every dollar spent, plus a $35,000 first purchase bonus.
What's in your wallet?
I can see you, Carl.
After finishing in a tie for last a year ago in Esbjerg, many so-called experts didn't give Korea much of a chance here in Lethbridge. And with a field full of champions from countries where curling is more popular, you probably wouldn't have given Korea much of a chance either. But here we are with just 4 teams remaining, and one of those, Team Korea. Something no one even considered a possibility 1 week ago. Ji-Sun Kim has become easy to cheer for. Her body language is, well, quite similar to a certain Canadian curler. Seeing Team Korea's reaction after defeating the powerful Swedes on day 1, and you may have thought they had won the championship. Now, whether or not Kim and company reached the top of the podium Sunday, it's been fun watching them try. After all, everyone loves an underdog. In 2018, the Winter Olympics will be held in Pyeongchang, Korea. By that time, the so-called experts might have a different view on Korea's chances at a gold medal. Yeah, they have stirred some interest locally and, of course, in Korea. As we welcome you back to Lethbridge on this Saturday afternoon. It's the 3-4 page playoff. We're playing lead rocks here in the second. Korea once again, after the blank in one, has the hammer. Here in two, playing the Red Stones.
This is an example of the confidence that Korea is showing us early. Heather made the move, tried to be aggressive after the center line guard was up and the Redstone was in the back 12. Lainey Peters was asked to draw around it. It just actually over curled. What a lovely controlled weight to get rid of that rock.
They've got all the shots, they really do. Heather has to be careful. That was a wonderful come around by Lainey. Guilty of making it too good. It peeks out in the open, and now sitting two already here with hammer.
Jessica Mayer.
Alright, guys. Whoa! Go the other way. Maybe?
She's 8-8.
Okay. I could have been on it still. Okay.
Interesting little story about the rock selection. Korea chose an entire sheet. Now, two stats that were great for them. They were the best stones statistically, but also Korea curled 96% in a win on that sheet. So they didn't pick here and there. They just took a set they felt confident about.
That's a little bit of a soft release here.
Lee Sung-shin.
Saved it.
So there's a different story for Canada when we talk about the other set of stones, the yellows. They did mix and match. They picked from C and A, and yes, the shooting percentages were good in some, but I think mostly they picked the pairs that they felt best about after round-robin play.
Now, Rose, you mentioned about the soft release of the Korean second, Lee Sung-shin. In post-game comments yesterday, Heather Nedohin was saying about playing the Koreans that in some ways they're very much like the Chinese. You can't read off their throws. And quite often, as she and Linda, you always trumpet this and always say you should go in with a scenario, a game plan. Nedohin says that she can't go in to an end with a game plan because she almost has to throw rock by rock depending on what the Koreans do.
Well, exactly, and a good example is right here. First two ends, Canada throws up the guard and it's expecting a come around. Korea goes to the open side deep. Canada kind of bit in the first end and hit, and all of a sudden Heather's saying, "Oh, I'm not going to do that forever," and she's going to play the come around. If the come around isn't made perfect, Korea sits two and a chance to score a deuce here. So it's a little bit unconventional. Is it wrong? Absolutely not.
What do you like, normal or control? I like normal. Okay. 9.
Let's go, Beth. Let's go, Beth. Nice crisp stick.
Normal weight.
Just off center guard that can be used. It is a Canadian stone. They can just jump it over. Oh, they'll make the double. Lose the shooter out the side. Beth Iskew.
Great shot. This is not an easy angle. Often you have it too thin and stuff it, or you don't get the double. Get them both out and clean it up.
And once again now, maybe quite possibly heading towards another blank here. Min Suk Shway is the coach of the Korean team. This Korean side, if you're just joining us, haven't been with us the entire week, they traveled to Canada twice a year. They were based themselves in Calgary. They play at the Calgary Curling Club and at the North Hills. For about 3 weeks in the fall, they did 2 events, the Autumn Gold, and then they played in Medicine Hat. And then they came here for 2 weeks prior to the World Championship starting.
Easy.
A lot of their training has been done by just watching, Linda.
I watch TSN, actually. You were telling us, Vic, that around the world you can get the games on demand. And It's nothing better than to listen to the players and watch the strategy. As far as I'm concerned, that's a little missing piece for the teams like Korea. They need to develop their strategy.
Daryl Horn is the coach of the Canadian side, and of course he was the coach of Kathy King when Kathy was the Canadian champion back in '98, and Heather Nedohin was right out of juniors and part of that team. And Daryl now makes his home in the interior of BC and is with Curl BC. Linda?
He's a regional coach. The part I like about the Korean strategy, you can say, why didn't she go around the guard when Korea had the chance? But it was immediate. She walked right up to that rock and peeled it. She knows exactly what she wants the end to look like. Korea was sitting 2 for a good part of this end before Beth makes the double. She's not going to take chances around an opposition guard, and I like the fact that she is so definite.
Yeah, there's a plan, as you always talk about, and they don't have to press the issue here. They have hammer.
Let's go, Hooch. It's a nice throw here.
And I know this is only the second end, and we're heading likely to another blank unless there's a nose hit here. But are you, if you're Canada, a little concerned about this?
Yeah, exactly. I think so. There's no time to panic. They're playing great too, but the message has been sent here that you're going to have to get some rocks in play and make the shots a little tougher for this Korean team.
So how do you do that, Linda, as we get ready for the first stone from Ji-Sun Kim?
Well, the hard part for Heather is she tried it this particular end. She ignored an opposition stone in the rings and drew around her own guard. Just peeked out a couple of inches around the guard. The Korean team calmly got up, hit it, and rolled to the open. Beautiful shot.
Do you play it, though, more like you're playing in the 10th, trying to steal and maybe forced to put up 2 guards?
No, I don't think you did pull that panic button yet, Vic.
Okay.
That would be a dangerous situation, but you do. This is a great learning curve here for anybody watching. You have to get inside the other skip's head and what their plan is. Korea is demonstrating to me that they're defensive thinking, and they don't have to score at this point in time. So I think Canada will force the issue again. They'll certainly throw a center guard next end.
Same thing. I'd love a bigger roll your way, Jess.
Canada's still hoping that they might get a nose hit on a blank attempt. We haven't seen that sort of problem yet from this Korean team, but you never know. If you roll to the middle and there's a longer distance to roll out to blank, you may get a mistake.
Whoa, easy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, a little wide. A little wide. Whoa. Close. No, no. Whoa, whoa. Watch the roll, Jess. Easy. No, we're too much.
같은데요? 닦아도 돼요. 언니 끝까지 닦으면 나갈 것 같아요.
One more turn. No, it'll hang there. So it'll force Ji-Sun Kim to make a play.
Now, Russ, you've been comparing the inside-out versus outside-in play of some of the skips. Heather throwing from center line out, and it is a more forgiving play if you're not narrow. Now, it does curl. She was a little wide, and it still came up enough to stick. Remember the big mistake by Allison Pottinger. She took tight ice on the outside in, hit a path that was new, and it curled. So that's one nice thing that Heather does.
I talked to Heather about that exact shot, and she was saying where Allison missed it was incredibly swingy, a little more than they expected.
Final stone looking for a second straight blank.
This one's curling.
Oh, now needs a big roll to get out the back. Needs a big roll, a little more. Oh, now. Heather Nedohin. He's going to call for the stick, and rightfully so. From that angle, it looks like maybe, just maybe.
An inward motion there. We talk about the soft release, and a couple of times we peeked over during the week and seen the skipper missed a little bit narrow on that out-turn side, and maybe got away with it by curling more than they expected. Definitely trying to hit that on the high side and crossed it.
So here we go. 6-foot stick. And it's out by that much. Korea has sparked local interest here in Lethbridge.
Look, it's okay to take the occasional gamble, as long as it's something like switching from boxers to briefs. But you never roll the dice on your truck. So go with the sure thing, Ford F-150. J.D. Power Associates just gave F-150 their highest award for initial quality. Add to that the best mix of torque and fuel economy you get with its EcoBoost engine, and your money, baby. This is the future. This is the Ford F-150.
What is pure comfort? It's a soft blanket after a hard day. Pure comfort is the touch of a childhood friend. Pure comfort is a moment to yourself. Pure comfort is what you trust. Purex is pure comfort.
Is that live TV on your phone?
Yeah, I'm catching the game now.
That's TV? How many channels you got?
26.
Let me see.
Oh, I love that show.
Isn't that your number?
I'm in no hurry. Shove over, darling.
Oh.
Now see, that's how you treat a woman.
Valve brings you super phones with over 25 live TV channels.
You know those lucky dogs who have that perfect amount of gray hair that everyone loves? Now you can be one of them. Touch of Gray combs away a little gray without getting rid of it all. Touch of Gray. Get the best of both.
Before I got the Capital One Aspire card, I was awful at anniversary gifts. Happy anniversary! It burns fat!
Buttons?
Yep, I had her stuffed. Happy anniversary!
Looking good, Tina.
But now, thanks to Aspire, I get 10,000 bonus reward miles every year. So anniversaries are awesome.
The Aspire card. Get 10,000 reward miles every anniversary, plus 2 miles on every dollar spent.
What's in your wallet?
We get back-to-back blanks by Korea. In the first two ends of play in this 3-4 page playoff, the winner moving on to play Switzerland and Miriam Ott from Davos in tonight's semifinal. Once again, it is Korea that has the last drop. They have the hammer here in 3, playing the Redstone.
Same plan, very tight center guard by Canada, nicely played by Lainey Peters. And she's been a huge story in this event, continues to put those rocks in such a wonderful place. But Korea is ignoring it and going wide side one more time.
And happy birthday to Lainey Peters. The Canadian box is dressed with flags. This morning, her wake-up wasn't the alarm or music on the radio. It was a piper who was brought in to pipe her awakening and with a birthday cake. So happy birthday to Lainey Peters.
7, let it work. 8, whoa. No, it's running a little bit. Starting to come. We're there. Whoa. 14-3, let it go. We're definitely back. Go back, go back, go back. Go deep, go deep, go Jess. Go Jess, go, 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 go. 14-3. 14-3.
So this is the first time they have Korea doing what Canada wants, and that is drawing. Yes, Lainey's rock went deep, but it is buried. There is no little tap and roll that Korea wants to play, so they're going to play the draw. This is how Canada might get a mistake, at least get them to score and get the hammer back.
Wunji Jim throwing the lead stone. Nedohin right down on top. Well, after an opening loss, the Czech Republic went, okay, well, and then look what they did. Sweden and Scotland and the U.S. They beat China. They lost to the Canadians, but it was a wonderful run. But I said, we were chatting before, Linda Russ, you know, sort of anonymously, very quietly. And there they are, it's all over, and you go, my goodness, Korea's right there. Now there is all this focus, and it goes back to your questions about this team, Linda, and whether they'll be able to handle what they're facing today.
8.
And as the game progresses along and a score is close, it's nice for Korea, but also continues to put the pressure on them to perform into the last part of the game. Little mistake there from Canada.
Did she say 14-2?
14-2.
Jess's rolls off, rock rolls off, and that means that Korea can play a tap and roll themselves, get into cover.
This spot will be getting quicker and quicker every time down. A lot of brushing in this area.
Oh, I thought they were just playing tap. This is big weight.
Yeah, they could take their own out here.
Wow. They should brush it by.
And look at that. They will angle it back and by. And the crowd here realizing Canadians have something going without last rock.
You could play draw, tap. You don't need to really hit this hard. And wow, that was straight.
You wonder if the thrower didn't get the message.
Yes.
It looked like the same ice that same ice Heather has here for kind of a soft weight draw. Like, wow.
Line, Jen! 4, 5! Easy, Jen! Easy!
Room, lots of room!
Yep! 5!
Lots
room!
of
Room! Yes! Room! 5 still! Room! Yes!
Trying to wrap it around their own, just outside the rings. Trying to wrap it around. Draw it. 12. Draw it. Keep going. 8 to sit 3 without last rock.
And there's the movement that we talk about. Run straight for so long, and with weight, it never comes back. With draw, it keeps going behind the guard.
She did.
Korea's going to try to play a little softer weight, hopefully, in this same spot, try to roll Barry, but they could run that front guard, Linda. It's so tight. You make a double, and you still got that red rock, Korean rock off to the side that might end up in the swerve.
Mi Sung Shin is the most experienced at the age of 33. She's been to all 4 worlds that the Koreans have been involved in. Gets the inside roll. Now you have a look. And just maybe by that much, Korea is shot stone. T-line, edge of the 4.
Can we get to there?
I think
What
so.
if we go on the intern side?
I was
7-6.
7-6. Just to it. What about the intern?
What about an 8 and come off
This
the
is
inside
not
of it?
bad, Beth. Sitting here like that.
8 and come off the inside of it.
6, 7.
Like, it does come at the end, but...
Will it though? That's my worry.
I think it will.
You think so?
Yeah.
Intern's
Okay, but
not a
we're
bad
throwing
option
right
that Beth threw out there,
We're
because then
throwing
your shot selection later is much easier. If you end up over here,
14-7, yeah.
it's tough to run that rock,
Okay, let's go
red
back.
rock, out of play
Straight
because
up.
of this rock
Chris
here. So it's understanding those angles. If you can get to the inside here, it's a great shot, but that's tough.
The plan B that Heather talked about is actually chipping the one top 8, but you don't want to chip it too much.
Wait. Wait, Jess. Yes. No. Whoa.
Peters, Mayer. Rushers think they need it for weight. Now starting to bust on them. Trying to get it around their own stone, top of the 8-foot. Trying to get to that Korean stone, edge of the 4. Need to go. Oh, great rushing. Canada is sitting 2 around the edge of the 4.
Well, it did curl. They weren't sure, but the brushers had to take it to get it by that top 8 rock.
Spectacular speed control. could not throw that any better.
아니면 실비야 웨이트 노멀로 해도 돼.
The thin double here. Maybe half a rock, quarter rock makes the both yellows go away. You lose your shooter, of course.
얼마큼 맞아야 돼요, 언니? 잘못 맞으면 잼나.
So far she's looked at three things: that thin double, a hit and roll, or running the front in.
Quite a bit of ice. The spot's straightening out a little with all the use.
This is Sylvie Lee.
That's turning.
Trying to hold it. Will they get it by the top stone? Yes. Second stone. Angle it back. There's your thin double. Not quite. And it does hang on. Shot stone.
Well, the shooter rolls out and the yellow one stays, but it's still a very nice shot.
Hack weight.
Open things
Okay,
up.
let's go back. Crisp release. Yeah, nice and crisp, right up the stick.
Okay, hack weight.
Hack? Hack it! Easy.
Whoa.
Easy.
Whoa. Running, Jess.
Whoa.
Nothing yet from Mayer and Peters.
No. Whoa.
I like to hang around.
Beth.
And they won't.
11-2.
Wow, that ran straight.
Heather. Okay.
Okay.
Good throw. Heather. 11-2.
Okay, good sweep.
Every shot so important. That yellow at the top of the 8-foot that was brushed from end to end is so crucial now.
And that counts the other red, and the yellow one behind the guard is hidden.
With a loud building, hand signals now coming into play as Ji-Sun Kim motions to the front end of Shin and Jim.
왜 업이지? 괜찮았어.
I like staying right there.
Yeah. So this is that, we were playing this in the first end. Were we not? Control?
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks good. Yeah, we did play this in the first time.
Right? And it
Took
just
me a
ran
second.
nice.
Yep.
Canada started off very well. The win over Switzerland came at the expense of a missed draw by Miriam Ott, but then they lost to Denmark. They managed the wins, but it was Thursday and the loss to Italy and Scotland that dropped them into that tiebreaker. Terrible Thursday, actually, for Heather Nedohin and the entire team, but they bounced back in that tiebreaker yesterday against the Americans.
Should curl in this spot.
Oh, look at this now. Look at this now. Oh, little spin. And, oh, maybe just spin too far. Canada continues to sit one. Just a little
Must have been soft because she was
piece
on it right away.
sticking out, top 8.
That's the problem when there's one in front of the other. She hit the wrong one first, and that's why you get that sideways roll. We had a good look of her delivery, and I think her body was actually sliding tight. The release probably was clean out with the hand looking like it was on the broom, but the slide was a bit of a drift left.
Right to left motion, and you think you're on the broom, but your body's going left. The rock went left, and that was looked very fortunate to move the Korean rock far enough to leave the buried Canadian rock shot rock.
Now, this is where you have to decide about strategy. The yellow one at the top of the house, full 8-foot, that is shot rock. So you have to think how you're going to outcount that for the rest of the end. So one way of doing it is hitting and rolling this way. You could also draw.
I like the draw, Linda, for sure. You read my mind. The in-turn draw will swing in there, put it in the 4-foot, chance to score your deuce unless you roll this absolutely perfect. The odds of that are maybe 15-20%. I know Ji-Sun Kim is an incredible hitter, but if you don't end up shot here, Heather's going to go around, sit two buried.
This is when we see the little mistakes, the little strategy mistakes from lack of experience.
Where's the roll? Where's the roll? How's that?
He actually rolled it a little too far, but what a wonderful throw.
If you call the wrong shot and you make it, it's the right shot, isn't it? Yeah. Beautiful throw. Beautiful throw. Look at the
roll.
Big rotation. It runs true. Nice speed control. Just a little unlucky on the finish there.
So it stops back edge of the 4 for Shotstone.
That's about the best you could have done with the draw. So it turned out great throw.
Here, Mark. You looking for that 105?
Let's go, Hooch. Throw us a good one here. Like you can.
Should have the speed nailed down here. There's been quite a few rocks, hits and draws, both turns in this whole area. It'll be up to game speed. It'll be the speed they expect for the rest of the game right here.
Line's nice. Stay with it, line.
Wait, yes!
Final stone for the Canadians.
Yeah! Line! Line's fine. Stay with it, yes!
Aaron Peters maybe a little overbrushed now, waiting for it to break.
That's okay.
Line was good, they said, trying to take it right down on top. Right down on top. Boy, you're right. Every shot so important, and we're bound to see maybe a little panic sometimes.
I'm a little in the rafters.
That's okay. 14-4.
조금만 더 안쪽이야. 언니!
So the force is on.
This is a turn that was a little scary in the Sweden-Switzerland game. There was big curl coming into the house. Heather's curled nicely. I think she panicked a little bit because it looks like it's going to dive. Now, of the two players, you would expect this to curl even a little more, so they may have to watch the brushing.
So the more experienced Mi Sung Shin, who's been to all 4 worlds, holds the brush for Ji-Sun Kim. It is Sylvie Lee on the left and Unji Jim on the right, with their skipper right behind now, drawing against the 2. And right to the nose, a beauty. So after 2 blank ends, Korea's on the board. They have the lead. Canada will have the hammer.
All right, let's eat.
What's this?
New beef lasagna casserole.
Tim's has lasagna now?
With garlic toast.
Oh, yeah, that's good. It's like home cooking.
Yeah. Thanks, Mommy. I mean, Manny, money. My man. Thanks, my man. What?
Tim Hortons' new beef lasagna casserole, made with ricotta cheese, basil, oregano, and a tasty tomato sauce. Served with garlic toast, just $4.49.
Canadians are crazy about curling, and so are their kids. Thanks to the Capital One Rocks and Rings program, thousands of kids across Canada have learned about curling in their elementary schools. From coast to coast, Rocks and Rings has kids screaming, "Hurry hard!" and having a great time doing it. Our instructors get kids active and excited to learn about a new sport. The kids love it, the teachers love it, and the best part is, the whole program comes to you. To get Rocks and Rings in your school, visit rocksandrings.com.
6 weeks ago, first-year curler Jonathan Chow could barely find his balance. But on the last rock of the last end of his Monday night men's league, he makes his first double takeout. On purpose. Yeah, that's right. He called it. He made it. And today, for this one moment, Johnny the Hammer Chow feels like a pro. What will your great moment be?
Oh, yeah!
No!
Yes. Hey, how come we never watch a game at your place?
Ah, your HD is amazing.
So switch.
Oh, changing providers.
With Bell, it's easy. One phone call, they can install as early as tomorrow.
Okay, look. The other reason I come here is I love Janet's decor. I mean, it's classic, but there's still a bit of old world whimsy about it. That chaise is lovely.
Chair.
Softness is always in fashion. Nothing feels like cashmere.
You keep waiting for this Korean team to blink, and in particular, skip Ji-Sun Kim. Boy, she didn't blink here, did she, with her final rock?
Again, under pressure, your form is the key, and they've got wonderful technique. Everybody, good communication here. The speed looks spot on right from the start. It was just getting the line. Walking it in there right on top of Heather's great shot.
Korea gets their single in the third, first point of the game. So here in 4, as we welcome you back to the Enmax Center here in Lethbridge, our continuing coverage of the championship weekend of the Ford Women's World Curling Championship. Canada will have the last rock in the 4th for the first time in the game, playing the Yellowstone.
Nice stone top 4, and then the corner guard to the intern side for Canada, and here's the guard.
So we talked about, similar to China, the Canadians can't read off what the Koreans do. Have a look at this, Russ.
Both teams are playing the exact same shot. Heather's freeze, and then Ji-Sun Kim's draw to the button. It's the exact same shot. Look at the difference here. There's maybe 12, 14, 15 inches difference in line. That's because of that different release. Canada has a bit of a pop release, forces the rock maybe outside the line. It runs straight for a while. In the case of Korea and China, they just let it go what we call soft. It curls sooner, the break point sooner. They get much more finish. And both teams, great awareness to do it their way and not be fooled by the other team.
Lainey Peters comes down beside the shot stone, top of the 4-foot.
And there's a possible example right there. The Canadian stone not curling as much as the Korean stone.
Goes back to what Heather Nedohin said, Linda, that she can't really plan out the end as she might normally, just because of the way their stones react and the way they finish.
It is a little bit different for broom placement, that's for sure. Better controlled weight here. Last stand, I was a little surprised with the weight they played, but that was much better. Maybe it was just nerves.
Mi-Sung Shin.
Do you like normal?
No.
Okay, control. Okay, good throw here, Jess.
Jessica Mayer, who plays second stones here in the 4th.
Yep, yep.
Easy.
Hard. Hard. Gotta go.
Get it by the guard, yes.
Hard.
Angle it back, spill them both. 1 will go, 2 will go. Shooter sits in the 12.
She said 10. Or did you yell 10?
I yelled 10.
You yelled 10.
In the second end, Beth made a double when Korea had last shot, and we're sitting 2, and there's Jessica with the double to open the house up for her team with hammer.
Now trying to roll this back. Mi-Sung Shin. Oh, not quite.
You have to say that the hits and rolls are impressive. We talked about the one last end that looked like it was going to be difficult, where the rock was positioned to roll to the right spot. They did it. Almost a perfect roll here. It's quite a skill they have.
Both teams came to play this afternoon for sure.
So far, all on its own. Needing to come up here for Jessica Mayer.
Your way. No, it's still forward. Go, Laney, go, Laney, go, Laney, go, Laney. Nicely done, Jess. That's a pass.
Well, considering the weight, there's terrific movement there later.
Yeah, and as long as that weight's soft enough, there's a point of no return. You add that little bit like Cree did with their second stone last end, and it'll track on you, it'll run. It's a beautiful surface, and the numbers here, you know, obviously it's in my opinion, it's the best field ever, but the numbers are so high, and part of it is the perfect ice.
Third stones from Sylvie Lee.
Trying the other turn, and this one will move more the whole way down the ice.
And no roll here. Sits T-line 8 foot.
There was a jam at the back. It's outside the rings, but another jam could leave a rock around.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. Just 10. Nose.
10? 10 right on nose.
All right, let's go back.
Russ, just the awareness here that if you try to play for the roll, there might be the jam. Is that it?
I think it's lined up. If you do roll, you are jamming, so they're a little worried about that. So at this point in time, it's early enough in the end, they might just roll the other way, right in front of that yellow rock at the back, hoping for another jam.
Yeah. Stay with it. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa. Sorry. Whoa. Easy.
Whoa.
Easy, easy, easy,
Whoa.
easy. Whoa. Whoa. Right off.
Whoa. Sit.
And no.
Sorry, Beth. 9-7.
That's a huge rollout. Gives Korea a chance to play the shot they want to play around the middle.
It was okay weight, wasn't it?
9-7, yeah.
Okay.
So the mistake, the apology from Heather was on the ice call then on that shot?
Yeah, she said 9-7, so they wanted a 10. So it was a hair harder. Beth threw it a hair harder than Heather expected. And that's the trick in curling. You have to guesstimate if you're the line caller how much is going to come at you there. But it did run straighter than Heather expected also.
This one's got a lot of speed.
Oh yeah, as you see, Ji-Sun Kim, the skip, just gave her brush, a little tap into the ice, knowing that there was going to be the mistake from Sylvie Lee.
Okay.
Okay, that 15 here,
6-5.
15, hey? Yep.
It's the first real mistake out of Korea, and not only a mistake, it was a mistake in the wrong direction. If you come up a foot short of the rings, 2 feet short, Heather has to be concerned with it.
You saw where Heather was with the broom and taking her moment. Don't forget, the broom for Korea was almost to the edge of the 12. You saw Heather thinking, broom about the edge of the 8.
Exactly. I thought you just took it right. She said, what did they do? Almost like I can't look over there.
Or there's some formula of subtract this, add this, divide by, and you come it up with the right place.
And if they can suck this one by here, Mayer and Peters, oh my, now Nedohin out as well. She's going to help them. Goodness.
Wow. 15-6. It's not as slick as down there.
Maybe a little surprised by Korea, but they threw a 13.5-second hog-to-hog, and it's probably around 14.5 to 15 across the sheet. You heard them say this was a 15-6. That's how slow it was, and look how far they dragged it. They actually got it in at that number.
That shot was made last summer with the off-season conditioning and the training that the team dedicated themselves to. That just barely got by.
Annie Peters, Jessica Mayer, spending time with Marcel Rock, Canadian and world champion, at front end with Scott Pfeiffer, and the team of Randy Furby, working on their positioning to get the maximum amount of pressure. Skip Stones now here in 4.
They have 2 rocks to draw around, but this is now the new path that they haven't seen very much, and it will curl.
And now it's Sylvie Lee and Unji Jim trying to match it. Brush for brush, stroke for stroke. Look at them go. Oh, to get it to the top 8.
Just a foot farther, and that's right in behind.
We've got some room there.
Oh, absolutely. I'd like to play like half to board.
That was good
Board,
sweep.
maybe.
I got that one.
No,
Well, you're leaving those up to you.
Thank you.
This is really straight. This is really straight.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, so hack. What's the matter?
Hack.
Okay. This looks good. You got room.
Any concern about those 2 yellow stones just outside the edge of the 12? Is a jam possibility here? Or are they?
Get the roll your way, Jess.
I think if it can jam, but it won't be closer than the buried Canadian rock, so it's not too big a concern.
Okay.
Nice throw here, Hooch. Let's go. Let's go, Heather, right up the stick.
Hairless, Beth.
Heather Nedohin, and her first said it was really going to be straight here, but having said that, Mayer and Peters have been called on early here. Got to get it by a stone, and will not. And now looking for the rollover and possibly in, and that's not there either.
I think maybe Heather talked herself into that. I don't think it's as straight as she thinks. I definitely agree with her that you can't overthrow it. You have to give it to the brushers, all those things, but that was very tight ice.
Very few rocks in that spot, and I think that's also why Ji-Sun Kim's draw died a little bit. This brushers lost that come around just a shade slower. There's still some pebble. Now your jam could be a problem here, Vic. You want to clear the red Canadian rock here if you're Korea. Pretty good chance it'll go towards that yellow one at the back.
If you wanted to, you could draw. You just have to set up a rock in a position where there wouldn't be a double.
Final stone for Korea here in 4.
Big weight.
Called right off. Trying to get the Canadian stone off the 12. Avoid the jam at the back. Oh, they got away with it.
It's a lovely throw.
Beautiful, just laser-like.
She's curling 100%, and you can just see by the technique, it's not because it's lucky. Those are great throws. They thought about the angle, they figured it out, got the second one in position.
So I'll clean that up, but I just want board. I don't think it's going to move here, guys. Try not to panic.
Husband David watching up in the Canada box. Faces are painted. Flags are in the hair for this 3-4 game.
Easy, easy.
10 and a half. Yep. Whoa.
Easy.
Just clean. Yep.
Easy.
Whoa,
Easy.
Just clean. Just clean.
Easy.
Nice throw.
Facing 2.
Good throw.
Canada will get the single here in 4 to tie it.
All right, back to Lethbridge in just a second. Corey Warren back inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Just one game in the NHL this afternoon, and it is a huge game for the Calgary Flames in Dallas. Flames in 11th place, just 2 points back of the 8th place Stars. Flames down 2-0 in the first. Mike Camilleri, though, with his 16th. It's 2-1 through 2. Third round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Tiger came into the day tied for the lead. 96-footer for Eagle on 6. Just misses it. Tiger leading by 2 through 9. To the association, Clippers, Grizzlies, Chris Paul. Mismatch against the 7-footer. Marc Gasol crosses him over, hits the shot. It's the Clippers by 9 in the second quarter. We'll have all those highlights and more coming up on the next edition of SportsCenter. We'll also have highlights from March Madness as well.
When you give it one of over 10,000 voice commands, like asking it to change the cabin temperature, an amazing thing happens. It listens. The all-new Ford Focus with available class-exclusive sync with My Ford Touch.
Welcome to Transamerica, where together we're transforming tomorrow.
Your husband put this all together when Emma was born. He was an amazing man. This is for you. It's all paid off.
And this is for Emma.
So where do you think she'll go? Anywhere she wants.
We're making people a more secure tomorrow. What can we make with you? Transamerica. Transform tomorrow.
It was the kind of weekend that your friends are always going to remember. And your neighbors would rather forget.
It might be hard to believe that the new Focus can virtually park itself. Till you actually see it park itself. The all-new Ford Focus with available Active Park Assist.
This is a tough shot.
Oh, very nice.
Wow. Switzerland, first time in the game, will take the lead. Sweden gets 2 in 9. Final stone for Mary Amat in this extra of a 6-6 tie. Now looking for that little inside roll if they can get it to get shot. No. And so Sweden is moving on to the championship final again. Margareta Sigfridsson will play for gold. Tonight, Switzerland awaits the winner of this 3-4 game. The semifinal from the Ford World Women's Championship tonight, 8 Eastern on TSA. In a 1-1 tie, it's been a marvelous game so far. You wouldn't think it with the score and the blanks, but very, very well played. And here in 5, it'll be Korea that has the last rock playing the Red Stones. Lainey Peters.
Right, right, right. Go, go, go!
Same plan for Korea, ignoring the center guard, not getting into that clutter. Trying to keep it open and establish their deuce.
9-3.
Interesting, Canada didn't play the come around. They've twice they have in this situation. Lainey's throwing more hits in this game she has all year, playing lead.
Who did you say that about in your game plan last couple of days, Linda? Sorry, my mind's gone a little soft. But you said it's about somebody avoiding that middle clutter.
Switzerland. And they did get into trouble with Sweden. Mary Amat, if she hadn't made some all-star shots, would have been down a lot in that game.
Let's go, Jess, straight up here.
Do you think the Canadians would be wise, Russ, to avoid those stones or ignore those stones when they're that deep and go around the center guard, trying to draw the Koreans into a messier game?
Yeah, I do. I do. This early, you know, if it's really late in the game, you can't take too many chances to give up a deuce. But here's a good example right here. Jessica overthrowing, rolling out. Now Korea will either hit and blank another end or go to the offense and put some pressure on Canada.
Here she runs up. And there's a frustrated look, isn't it, on the face of skip Heather Nedohin?
Well, if you think of the most successful end for Canada so far, it was the third, where they got a lot of rocks in behind that center guard. It happened on one deep come around by Lainey, which in some games we say never go deep, but it was great because it got the draws being played by Korea and forced some very tough shots. Now Korea made their last one and got their single, but still a lot of successful setups for Canada in that end.
And just the only 2 mistakes that I remember from this wonderful Korean team was way heavy on a finesse shot in the third end and a complete miss on a draw heavy in the fourth end. So I think you have to get them out of that hitting mode.
2-3.
Looks like more.
Where's the 3? Whoa.
Tight.
You have to also decide what success is for both of these teams. And I said in the game plan it was for Korea to be able to keep it open, keep the game close, get comfortable, take the chances when they got them later in the game, and they're doing exactly that. They feel very comfortable with the score the way it is.
You watch that peel being made. That was almost with normal weight. It's interesting. They're not firing them. It's more important to be accurate.
Right in the house, 6.
Okay. Save some time here, girls.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep. Okay, 15.
Yep, yep.
Mine's good.
5, 6.
It's an interesting comment because I wouldn't think the time clock would be in danger after having a couple of open ends to start. So it's sort of like they've peeled so many well, why bother putting them in front?
14-5.
So just putting it in.
Some time, okay? Yep. Just burn out the end.
So nothing fancy expected from the Canadians now.
Not that Korea would draw around a center guard. I would be betting large amounts of money they wouldn't at this point in time. But you hate to throw a guard late in the end as it gets later, and then if Korea does come around, you have less chance to bail yourself out. So that's why Heather wants it in the rings, I believe.
What would change this, Linda? This thought of Nedohin?
Of the not putting it out in front?
Well, I just mean, I'm just thinking she said, let's burn it out here and just let's get through it. I mean, would anything change that thought process?
Well, definitely as the game progresses, you can't let them burn away ends. These blanks are to the favor of Korea when they're holding the hammer. So you have to take more chances as the game goes along. And that would mean earlier, Vic, on the shot actually by Jessica, who was the one that rolled out and let the other team peel. That's where you have to make your move. You can't be playing up weight and risk the rollout if you want rocks in play.
And Heather had done that 2 ends in a row to create the force in the third end. It's certainly no time for Canada to press any panic buttons either, though. It's a lot of time left. Game's still tied.
Whoa! 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 끝까지 up! 끝까지 up이야, 끝까지 up! 끝까지 up! 끝까지 up! Okay. Push it. Yes. All right, Heather. Straight up here. Got 9 again?
Yep.
Skip stones to come here in the 5th.
Nice throw here, Hooch.
Yep, gotta go. Yep, gotta go. Whoa. Whoa, easy, easy, easy. Whoa.
When you have open games like this, you do see a lot of play towards the edges, and this is the real edge. We had this in the first end. Hitting rocks on the side of the 12 is not easy to hit and stay.
Okay.
Coaches were telling me when they are on the ice and practicing, it's upwards of 5 hours a day, setting up situations. It is remarkable to think that without playing the top competition all the time, whereas we know that China in their road to Vancouver and their World Championship, they based themselves in Leduc, Alberta. And then they played on the tour, spent months living in Canada. That just you could become this good or so good so quickly just playing situational curling.
Well, I think the delivery part is what we've seen happen to many teams where they can get the technique down, but the difficult part of simulations and situational play is just to get them enough experience with different situations that they see against teams like Heather Nedohin. So the strategy is the part that's hardest to teach, and she's doing very well.
That'd be interesting to know, too, and the coaches and the English is limited. But if, in fact, if they're watching past games of Scotties and Briers, if, in fact, they went, we're going to put that stone there, we're going to mimic Kevin Martin's shot, or Len Howard's shot, or Jennifer Jones's shot, and they put the stones in a certain place for us.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. There's no question about it. And that's what a great way to fast track your career. This has got to be brushed here.
All right, final stone here. You're looking for the blank if you're Korea. Uh-oh.
No problem.
Yes, enough action off the stone for a blank in 5, 3 blanks, and a 1-1 tie.
The 2012 Ford World Women's Curling is brought to you by Purex Bathroom Tissue. Purex is pure comfort.
Look, it's okay to take the occasional gamble, as long as it's something like switching from boxers to briefs. But you never roll the dice on your truck. So go with the sure thing, Ford F-150. J.D. Power & Associates just gave F-150 their highest award for initial quality. Add to that the best mix of torque and fuel economy you get with its EcoBoost engine, and your money, baby. This is the future. This is the Ford F-150.
Before we got the Capital One Aspire card, we never had enough miles to get away together. Isn't it beautiful, honey? Let me show you around. Wait till you see the clubhouse.
I can see you, Carl.
But now, thanks to Aspire, I get double miles on all my purchases, so we can actually get away together.
The Aspire card. Get 2 reward miles on every dollar spent, plus a $35,000 first purchase bonus.
What's in your wallet?
I can see you, Carl.
Even this stiff back can get moving again with Robax Platinum. It's formulated to relax tense muscles and relieve pain at the site of inflammation. No one knows back pain like Robax.
Sponge towels are ready for anything, thanks to the super absorbent sponge pockets. Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
It's the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge. Watch today's Season of Champions game to the end of this broadcast for a chance to win a $50 M&M gift card or a trip for 2 to Sochi, Russia for the 2013 World Junior Curling Championships. Don't miss the M&M Final End Challenge.
2012 Ford World Women's Curling is brought to you by World Financial Group. Proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies. By Tim Hortons Real Fruit Smoothies in New Peach Mango. And by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Korea, Canada in their 5th end break in a 1-1 tie. It is 3-4 page playoff. And after going 5 and 6 in round robin, German leads Stella Heiss, getting introduced to our television coverage and helping us out by making sure the cables are all nice and straight and nobody gets tangled up. Time to check the numbers after 5.
Interesting to see big numbers, of course, but the hit percentage huge for Korea. They played 3 times the number of hits as draws. Canada 50-50 and better on those draw percentages. The skip for Korea is 100%. Somehow, some way, you have to get them playing more draws and try and force a mistake out of this great Korean team.
With their coach, Min Suk-choi. 1-1.
A timeless tradition. The Masters, Augusta National, A beautiful stage for the top golfers in the world, playing for the glory and prestige symbolized by the champion's green jacket. Don't miss a moment with your choice of extended coverage on tsn.ca, plus exclusive live feeds on the TSN Masters app for iPhone and iPad. Our coverage starts with the par 3 contest. The Masters starts April 4th on TSN.
Love Tim's fruit smoothies.
Yeah, peach mango. So tropical.
Imagine we're enjoying our smoothies on an exotic beach. When a hunky lifeguard surfer approaches.
Anyone seen the Staples?
Bye-bye, stapler guy.
Made with a full serving of fruit. Tim Hortons Real Fruit Smoothies in new peach mango. Just $1.99.
With the professional independent advice of a licensed insurance broker working for you, you can sleep easy. Insurance brokers don't work for an insurance company. They find you the best insurance, getting you the right coverage at the right price, and are there to help in the event of a claim. So you can sleep easy. Your best insurance is an insurance broker.
The Dominion is Canada's trusted insurance company. Why? We guard your home. We deliver on our promise when you need us most. We've protected your business and favorite pastimes since 1887. We are connected with you in your community as a very proud supporter of Canadian curling at all levels. Thanks for making us Canada's trusted insurance company. Get to know us and find a broker in your community at insuranceforcurlers.ca.
She's known as the Brain. First, she had the mental fortitude to triumph over her disability. Then she invented a piece of equipment that transformed the way she delivered a stone. It changed her game and allowed her to triumph in the sport of curling. Sonia Godet, Paralympic wheelchair curling, one of the super athletes.
Championship weekend of these Ford World Women's Curling Championships at the Enmax Center here in Lethbridge. Welcome back, everyone. The teams are back on the ice, and it's 1-1 tie. 6th end of play. Korea once again does have the last rock. A little different here. As Heather Nedohin said, you never know what to expect. They put up the center rush, and then what do the Koreans do?
Instead of going into the rings, which we've seen a constant diet of, threw up the corner guard. So it's game on here in end number 6.
Okay.
And we'll just slide back of the tee line. Lainey Peters.
Unfortunate part for that, it peeks out on the left-hand side of the sheet here, and a chance to hit and roll behind the corner possibly.
What you really want is a rock in a position where they have to play something quiet. Chance they can play bumper weight hit. That's one of their real strengths.
Well,
I think with the guard as long as it is too, I think that's why Korea made the change.
They're going to flirt with this guard. Nope. Now, is the roll behind their own corner that they just put up? Oh, they just don't quite get it there, and it is back tee line.
Board. Board, wait.
10?
Board.
Okay.
Board. Yeah,
hit
board.
Her foot. Straight up.
You're playing that hit and roll, and you have the hammer. The lighter the weight, the better, because you can hit it thinner, roll deeper into the circles. Then when this shot is successfully made, the enemy rock's behind the tee line.
Yes! Hard! Go back! Hard back! Go back, go back, go,
Now
go,
trying
go.
to take it over, and now it'll stop right in the open.
It is wide open, and that means there is another chance for a roll for Korea.
센터 안쪽이지? 센터! 알았어!
Over? No, not quite again. You may have heard this week if you're with us, teams talking about earning points for the Olympics in Sochi. And for someone like Germany that had to play without their normal skipper Andrea Schopp, very important. These are the points and how they're awarded in the qualification process. And then when you look ahead, of course, it's a 2-year total of this year and next year's Worlds. Jessica Mayer. Oh, goodness. Now, right on the nose. Flirted with the guard to hit it on the beat. So when you look ahead to Sochi, you've got 10 teams competing for the gold medal. 7 of those teams are going to be based on the 2-year total. Of course, Russia is the host. The last 2 teams will come out of a pre-qualification tournament based on 3 years. So you're looking at teams, well, so I'm thinking maybe a Hungary, who was number 2 in the B group of the Europeans. Was it? I think it was Hungary.
But they have to have been in the Worlds for 3 years.
Okay.
So China, for example, this year, who had such a tough time, they still could go through that tournament.
So it's that was disappointing for Binghu Wang, as she said. The rebuilding starts for her.
She had a 13-9.
Slight mistake there for Team Korea. They were trying to freeze up to that or tap it a bit, keep an angle. They did tap it, but didn't keep the angle. So a chance to sit 2 here for Canada.
So when you think along those lines, Linda, it was a huge event for USA and Alison Pottinger to pick up those points.
To creep up after having a few disappointing years.
And so then you could see a Czech Republic, for example, and Linda Klimova being in that pre-tournament to maybe get a spot in the final 10. Boy, this guard. Oh, goodness. And then avoid the gem at the back. Oh, yeah. Yikes. Deep breath. Beth Hiskew.
Rushing is having a huge impact. It's like they have a little rut down there, just getting it by the guard each time.
Okay, that's 2 in a row.
I had a good broom over the head on that one.
That rock is still open, so you could hit and roll now behind the center guard.
Ooh, a lot of weight here.
From Sylvie Lee.
We saw her throw a draw through earlier. Just way too much weight.
Catch anything? Will, but then there goes the shooter.
You have to wonder about nerves, because that's usually what happens. You overkick from the hack.
Let's go right up the stick, right to the stick. Let's go. Crisp release.
Okay, 14.
First real good opportunity here to steal.
103. 7!
Line's nice. Easy. Line's nice.
Looks like a lot.
Easy.
Oh, 6, 7.
Whoa.
Easy.
6. Line's nice. No.
Right screen.
Whoa.
Stay with it.
Whoa.
Writing 6.
No.
Writing 6.
No. 6. Yep. 6. Yep.
Canada sitting shot stone, and goes back to what you were saying,
14,
Linda, is that get them into the straw
14-7,
game.
so.
Get them in now. And maybe more surprisingly that Korea put up that other corner to start things off.
Yeah, it was working so well the other way. They had a couple tries and low risk by throwing it in the rings. And see what's happened here by ignoring the center guard. Korea's just asking for the freeze here, Linda, so they will not be shot rock after this lands.
The interesting thing about the corner is there have been chances to roll both behind the corner and the center guard for Korea, and for once we have not seen those perfect hit and rolls. Good thing about going around it.
But there's the little rub and roll off, and now it's pushed it, maybe just showing a corner.
First time that I think I started it, right? So if I play like 10,
yeah,
and get a little roll.
You want to roll in? Okay.
Yeah.
The little chip did move the yellow one out a little bit in probably third open on the center line side.
Also rolled open enough that it's accessible for an inside roll by Heather here.
How difficult or how important is this roll in terms of leaving a double here?
Yeah, if you don't make the roll, if you hit it dead on, there'd be a pretty simple double. You just even a roll on the inch or two would take away the double.
Well, it's a little bit of both, which is okay. It just kind of pushes
easy spot
it.
here too, Vic. If you hit it thin, the red thin, you have that catcher off your own yellow, and you'll be buried.
All right, nice clean throw here. Let's go.
Even the skipper saying, gotta go. And here they go, Peters and Mayer, gotta go. Trying to get to the inside, trying to get for the little roll to the center line side. Oh, now they picked it out for sure.
Sliding tight. Your release is great. I figured it out. You're sliding tight.
I figured
that's what I was talking about earlier. The body slide is just a little off for Heather this day, and that's why it's a little hard to even know how much inside she is. It's the body, but the hand is coming out straight.
That one I totally felt it, and I said it to them right away.
Oh, she realizes it too, and Beth Iskew figured it out.
Rolled to a perfect spot, because if Ji-Sun Kim gets this buried, you will have a out-turn tap.
Wow.
As we say, sometimes strategy doesn't matter. If you make a couple of mistakes but curl 100%, you're going to beat a lot of people. Right now she's had a couple of mistakes from her teammates, and we'll have to try and get them out of trouble.
If he hits this and rolls and doesn't roll buried, Heather and Canada can hit it dead on. It's going to be tough to score.
Ji-Sun Kim in her first. Going to get the roll inside. Oh, I'm not sure if she's there. Very, very close for shot stone.
It's a problem, though, for rock position, Vic. It's going to block that forefoot if Heather noses it.
Interesting, too, because, Ben, as you look here, Russ, that guard, that red stone she put up, then possibly becomes a problem for a draw.
No kidding, Vic. You just simply hit this dead on. What do you do?
Let's go right up the
Where do you go? You can't play this draw because of the guards. You'd have to go really wide and try to catch the corner.
Now, I'm sorry. We've been having fun with Russ and the rocks that he uses for telestration. Yesterday, they were very small. And look, I don't know what you gave them, what you fed them, because they've gotten really big overnight. Rolls away. Is that the opening to get in there?
No question about it. There's even a double if they elect to take it on.
Definitely the hit is her preferred shot.
9-6. Did White finish up like I thought it might have?
I thought it might 9-6, so if I have the 10, it would.
There's the comment, just a shade 9-6 being a hog to hog. It's a split time interval. They were looking for 10 seconds. 9.6 means she threw it a little harder, got there quicker, didn't have the time to curl.
So far in that 100% game, it has been 9 takeouts, only 2 draws.
This isn't simple either. You hit a little less than half of this, it will go underneath the other yellows. To hit a solid half to 2/3 here.
Canada is sitting 2 here in 6. Final stone for Korea and Ji-Sun Kim, and there's that customary turning to the side. Big brush for Jim and Lee. Gotta roll it, not quite. It's gonna be a steal of 1. Canada draws the Koreans in, and they steal.
To save fuel, it makes itself more aerodynamic by automatically closing its grill vents, leaving you breathless. The all-new Ford Focus with active grille shutters.
Daniel and Grace dream of retiring. Proper protection, an emergency savings plan, adequate retirement income, and taking the trip of a lifetime to Paris. But how can Daniel and Grace make their dreams come true? At World Financial Group, we help families like Daniel and Grace make their financial dreams a reality. Let us help your family too. World Financial Group, your dreams, our strategies.
Mom, are you done yet? Almost done. Want to watch some TV?
Yeah. Hey, kid, you get TV on that?
Yeah, it's got cartoons, music, news, sports.
Sports?
Yeah, I'm watching the game right now.
Sweet.
Last one, I promise.
Take your time, Schnookums.
Schnookums? That is why I don't have a girlfriend.
Bell brings you superphones with over 25 live TV channels.
Sponge towels are ready for anything, thanks to the super absorbent sponge pockets. Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
It might be hard to believe that the new Focus can virtually park itself. Till you actually see it park itself. The all-new Ford Focus with available Active Park Assist.
Said to Linda during the fifth end break, may come down to one shot. Is this the shot?
Well, it's a little bit of an overcurl for sure, Vic, and it's the only weak spot we've seen. 3 times I've seen it this week, and the blank attempt was made across the face. It was narrow also. That's a big steal.
Canada gets their single and 6 to take a 2-1 lead in this 3-4 game. The winner will move on to play Switzerland in the semifinal. Once again, it is Korea playing the Redstones. It does have, or do have, the last rock playing the Redstones here in 7. So in comes Canada. Center line, top 8. Korea puts up the tight corner.
I don't think so. Okay. It's quite straight here.
Right up the stick.
You have to decide where you want these 2 stones from, Lainey. She's so good usually about putting the first one top 4. It's only 8 foot, so they're actually trying to tap that one up to even be better. Yep. The one in front of it.
Yep. 6. Yep. 5. Yep. Whoa.
Weight looks good, guys.
Easy.
Whoa.
Easy.
Whoa.
Gonna come to the nose.
It's good. It's
close.
Good. Just settle down.
Good.
14-5.
Bumps it on an angle to the 4 foot. 3/4 of the stone may be available.
Weight control.
A quiet little hit and roll. Trying to use their corner guard.
Line good. Yep.
Korean lead is Unji Jim.
Whoa. Okay, 괜찮아. 10. Okay. Nice throw here. Let's stick around, guys.
Nice crisp release here, Jess.
Easy. Let's just keep it.
No.
It's a bit firm.
9.5.
Only riding that center line. wanting to stay around. You heard Jessica Mayer saying we need to stay around here.
Yeah, of all the players on the Canadian team, she's had the most rollouts. That similar sort of thing. A little bit up wide, perhaps, a little bit heavy, maybe even just the spot, but they just haven't figured it out.
Sometimes these big games, it's better for the skipper not to say too much and just make the adjustment with the broom.
Line good. Whoa. Line good. Yeah, whoa.
Mi Sung Shin.
Clean.
Seeing if they can use that corner, get it buried. Or they're having trouble with the draw weight, just pulling it back.
Maybe not quite. Again, Russ, Linda, this is that center line out. And we saw it at the Scotties in Red Deer. We saw it in Saskatoon at the Briar. It just is, and maybe gets more so at this time of the game quicker.
Yeah, no question about it. And in the center going the other direction, which would be outside in towards the center line, usually slows down eventually just through wear and tear.
The only problem with what Korea is doing is they've actually been heavy a few times now, and they're not making the correction.
No.
They've seen it before, and what you have to do is recover from the one mistake. You can't continue to get those deep shots. Canada will draw to sit 2.
6. Yep. Deep. Go.
Try to take it as deep as they can. Want to avoid setting up a double. And they'll drag it to the back 8.
I like the call here, aggressive call. You'd be tempted to hit the one on the top of the button. You're still trying to force a mistake out of Canada by going to the corner here.
Once again, this was supposed to be a freeze, not a tap.
And there is the bump to push it to the back 12.
That's not bad for us. Can you get to the inside of that, B-Town?
I've got just edge to edge. Yeah, that's why I like back line. Okay.
Okay, let's go back.
That doesn't look like a lot of ice.
I know. I'm wondering if you need more. Ask for more.
Don't forget, Korea was on the other side of center to play this tap.
So back line would be like.
That's why, of course, Heather's trying to figure out the ice correctly, but for the player in the hack, you see that difference. It really can throw you.
Right to the stick here. Let's go.
You almost want to close your eyes when they throw, then.
That's a good point.
And of course, you're trained the opposite. You're trained to watch all the shots that come down to blueprint exactly the different spots.
Wait, screen! Where? Back line, just through the rings.
It's staying out there. Yeah!
Got to get across the nose a little bit here to avoid the jam at the back of the 12. Get across the nose a little bit to avoid the jam. Across the nose and push it out. To sit 3. Canada without last rock here in 7.
We're starting to see the little bit of separation with Korea not having the draw weight, a little heavy on the taps even. And that beautiful shot from Beth.
That's what we talked about a couple times. Get some rocks in play. You can't keep running up and down the sheet with this wonderful hitting team and the beautiful weight control.
You know, it's just about that not wanting to watch, having done bowling for a number of years, and in particular the 10-pinners. The 10-pinners will actually close their eyes, look down the floor. They don't want to be influenced. They'll know from the splash, they'll know from the reaction, but they don't want to be influenced where they throw the ball. 1 and 2 and out.
Very nice.
And actually get it in behind the corner.
They're able to use that hitting weight, the accuracy to make the shot to try and get in behind cover.
Okay, so that was like 13-8?
That's great weight.
A little bit of a spin after contact, so it's mostly behind cover.
Beth Iskew.
Very delicate shot, but it's almost the exact same shot that Beth just played. She'll be close.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Now you're looking to tap this back or freeze to the corner.
They're tapping it.
By the guard. And push it back. Oh, what a beauty. Beth Hiskey. Great wing.
I've always feel that under pressure, the toughest thing is to keep the weight under control. Just absolutely two perfect shots.
Once again, great ice reading, good brushing. It's really the whole team that's making that shot.
Amazing.
It's a hit and roll, but they have to get buried. We've seen Canada removing things that were almost completely behind cover.
Sylvie Lee won't get the roll quite this time.
So close on all of them, though.
Hack. Board.
Hack, I think.
Come across, eh?
Yep. Similar to my throw.
Yep.
Just hack, Heather.
Hack. Hey. Just like Beth, come across that face.
Hey.
Heather's lived a little bit tight in the spot twice. Sometimes you have to then back it up a bit and it won't curl.
More of a back line, hey?
So again, we heard her say,
Okay, let's go, Heather.
cross
Straight up.
the
Yeah, nice
nose a
clean
little
throw
bit
here,
and
right
then
up the
roll underneath. Avoid the jam first, but try and roll under cover.
Yeah, they are trying to get it by that back yellow.
Hack. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. 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 Hack. Whoa.
Heather Nedohin and her first. Nothing yet from Peters or Mayer, hoping to get across the nose and avoid the jam. And hoping now that it will spill all the way. No, it won't.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
What a turnaround.
Terrible break that was.
Cockadoodle.
To pick that Canadian rock off the face of that back nibbler is unbelievable.
Shoot.
It's okay.
Wanted to work.
That's okay.
I think I got 11.5 on it.
Oh, just a little heavy.
Beautiful
eh?
throw, nice shot. Just didn't quite curl as much as they thought. Watch this yellow disappear.
Yeah, and look at where the other one ends up. And so now there are the two biters at the back, and both are red, both are Korea.
Oh, really?
Try to hit a solid half and hit it towards the opening between the little nibbler and the one that's out of the rings. Roll towards the center line. Any type of jam would be closer than both those nibblers. Not sure of the weight choice, but it's similar ice that Canada had, so it'll have to be more weight with their release.
So Sylvie Lee. Wenji Jim have picked her up right away. It's flirting with their own guard. Got to get it by the guard first. By the guard first. Avoid the jam at the back. Oh, is this a break for Canada? Yes, it is.
Ji-Sun Kim was yelling all the way down. They just didn't hear her.
Well, I'm not sure if they decided which way to play it.
I think they were playing it the other way, Linda. I think they were playing high side, and she threw it narrow. And then they just couldn't decide to get off it in time. There's quite a bit of room on the guard. Any more curl, they lay three.
I guess the plan B just was not clear to the person in the house.
And by that much, Canada is sitting second shot.
I'd like to roll your lid, Jess.
Okay.
Okay.
Big or where?
Yeah, a half, like on your side of the house would be great.
Okay, let's do it.
What
10?
weight? 10.
Okay, let's go, Heather.
Chances
Straight up
traded
here.
back and forth here
Nice throw.
by Canada and Korea.
10, 10, 10, 5.
what's happening.
Watch the jam. Nope.
No jam. Now it's the shooter. And it will not hang around. So you give the chance. You get it back. And now one more time, the Canadians will give Korea the chance for two.
Holly. This is not the simplest shot in the world with the rocks side by side, and she's putting it down for normal hit. There's nowhere to go if you roll.
Wow. Tough shot. And you're playing with the center line, too. You're outside early. It'll cross. Once it crosses, most of Ji-Sung Kim's out turns have really curled. That was an over curl there. It was an over curl last end on the double, and it was an over curl on the blank. So you don't want to get to that center line in a hurry here.
So final stone. Right now Canada is just by a fingernail sitting shot rock. Korea looking for the two. Big scrub from Lee and Jim. Huge scrub here, trying to hold it, trying to bang it right on the nose. Canada out just in case. Oh, and missed chance. Missed opportunity. Korea will settle for a single here in 7.
Love Tim's fruit smoothies.
Yeah, peach mango. So tropical.
Imagine we're enjoying our smoothies on an exotic beach. When a hunky lifeguard surfer approaches.
If anyone's seen the staples.
Bye-bye, stapler guy.
Made with a full serving of fruit. Tim Hortons Real Fruit Smoothies in new peach mango. Just $1.99.
With the professional independent advice of a licensed insurance broker working for you, you can sleep easy. Insurance brokers don't work for an insurance company. They find you the best insurance, getting you the right coverage at the right price, and are there to help in the event of a claim, so you can sleep easy. Your best insurance is an insurance broker.
All right, get you back to Lethbridge in just a second. Corey Warren back inside the Sports Center newsroom. Just one game in the NHL this afternoon, and it is a huge one for the Calgary Flames, taking on the Stars in Dallas. 2-1 Dallas late third. Steve Ott centers for Jamie Benn. He scores his second of the game. Dallas wins it 4-1. Calgary now 4 points out of 8th. Florida and Louisville fighting for a spot in the Final Four. First half, Eric Murphy hits the corner 3. Florida by 4 in the second half. Third round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Tiger came into the day tied for the lead, drains the birdie on 11. He has a 3-stroke lead through 12. In TFC's home opener facing the San Jose Earthquakes, Chris Wondolowski scored twice. Toronto has surrendered 6 goals in 2 games so far this season. TFC falls this afternoon 3-1. The final, and the Winnipeg Jets will continue their pursuit of a playoff spot tonight in Nashville. We'll have all those highlights and more coming up on the next edition of Sports Center.
There's fortune to be found in the frigid, unpredictable waters of Alaska. It's gold mining like you've never seen before. Bering Sea Gold premieres Monday, 10 Eastern, only on Discovery Channel. Much nicer day. Still cool here in southern Alberta. Welcome back to Lethbridge. And this 3-4 page playoff, and what a game it's been, as Canada really in that 7th Linda escapes. 2 missed shots by Heather Nedohin, maybe a little bad luck, but the Koreans had a chance for 2 and have to take just the single, so we're tied at 2. And here in 8, Canada will have the last rock playing the Yellowstones.
Yeah, suddenly we're seeing the mistakes from the Korean skip with that over curl on that out turn. That's her favorite turn. She's played virtually all of the shots that way, but It's getting a little worse as we go.
They missed the double, missed the one at this far end here. Both over curls this end. That's three shots in a row that have over curled for the skipper, plus the blank that they made the wrong directions. Keep an eye on that.
Okay. What do you guys like? 14-3 and 13-9. I don't know what I like here.
I like a little bump.
Who's got a hammer? We have a hammer.
Okay. Or that, yeah. You don't like that? Yeah, or that. Okay, same weight, Lainey. We just won't pound it.
Much easier to play the top. You just threw it, the same curler, same spot. Even if you freeze.
Line's about the same.
So early, it's just really set up, and Lainey does that so well.
Room! Hard! 5! Room! 5, 6! Easy, easy,
Whoa.
easy, easy.
Just a 5!
To it!
Just a 5!
5! 5! Now go! Hard!
Now go.
Go!
Marinescu, now go! To the 8. Shot stone is Korea. Back 4.
Laney's done it again. 2 perfect shots. The alignment's perfect on the back red. Almost buried. Really good setup early.
Is it on top of it?
Nice shot, Lainey.
름! 많이 름! 많이 름이야! 라인 괜찮아 지금 많이 름이야, 많이 름! 여덟이가 기다려! 웨이트만!
This is also a setup shot. It is not to get in there into the 4-foot. It's to have something to work with.
For Mi Sung Shin. Enough for third shot.
Straight peel.
Okay.
Peel.
Let's go, Jess.
Just an
Nice
inch or
throw
2
here,
farther.
straight
That
up.
was perfect. I think you can still get to the Canadian yellow on the
Feels
4-foot.
Okay, Jess. Nice crisp throw here. Peel. Yep. Yep.
Clean.
Quick.
Yep.
Quick.
Right up.
Quick.
Jessica Mayer,
Right up,
straight
right up,
peel.
Right up, right up. Good.
I didn't want to touch that.
Yeah. 여기요. 름. 름 많이 름. 기다려야 돼. 많이 름이야.
Be
와.
very careful to make this curl enough to get to the yellow rocks, actually. 'Cause Canada can hit a piece of that yellow and sit too.
Okay. I like the peel.
Same thing?
Yep.
You could come down this way and just hit this on the side, kicking the red over a little bit, and this yellow goes back here. But Heather, and rightly so, wants to score this end, or at least blank this end. They can't have a steal in the crucial 8th end.
More weight. Easy.
Well, it's a real
We're good. Clean.
pitch here by
More weight.
Jessica Mayer. Nothing yet. Peter's just cleaning.
8-4. Nice job.
Right now, the 1-2 punch for Canada is Lainey Peters setting them up, and Beth Iskew throwing those beautiful taps. I think Heather wants to delay a little bit before she makes a play.
하나만 더 하자.
Sylvie Lee.
라인 굿. 둘. 얍. 안쪽으로요. 많이 룸이에요. 많이 떨어져야 돼. 얍. 바꿔. 하나씩 넘어야 돼요. 끝까지, 끝까지. 끝까지. 헐. 헐, 끝까지 헐. 헐.
Here, Beppy. Straight up, Beth. Crisp release. Yeah, right up the stick.
Take me through this, Russ, in terms of strategy here.
Well, Heather's trying to leave it open as long as she can, and she's got a very easy yellow tap thanks to Laney, but I think Korea will make a move on their red one that was thrown, the top 4-foot one, and tap it up, and it's yeah, I think it's going to happen right here. I don't think Korea can wait much longer. It's when to go. You can throw one more guard maybe.
And she's looking now. So they're sitting, Korea's sitting one at the back for Linda.
Here's 1 and 3. And it really depends on what kind of weight she's going to call for this.
근데 그러기엔 상대가 미리 깨는 것.
You don't want to throw it hard enough to have the top red roll off the yellow and roll open, obviously. So you could just tap it a foot maybe.
각이 너무 잘 나와서. 지금 가드하고 상대가 만약에 따당 쳐버리면 그러니까 하나 여기 프리즈 하는 것도 괜찮을 것 같아.
그게 프리즈 괜찮아. 너무 세네이트로 보시면
아 그냥 프리즈. 8, 9. 어?
가드도 괜찮을 것 같아.
가드?
가드하고 그다음 너 거에서 하자. 그게 나을 것 같아.
오케이.
So one more time out in front.
저쪽이다.
One more time.
쪽 안쪽 잡았어.
If this half buries the red one, Linda, it would be tempting to hit the yellow. But the angles aren't perfect for either team.
라인 굿. 넷. 워. 하삭. 워. 넷. 가까우면 안 돼요. 하삭. 라인도 많이 룸이야.
Big room here. It's a little wider than the last one.
진짜 많이 떨어져야 돼. 안쪽으로 떨어져야 돼.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if she's clear on what she's actually guarding. A lot of them have been a little closer to center than I thought.
You're guarding your own usable rock. That's what scares me.
There's 2 things we can do. We can come here, which I like. Okay, if we do this, she's got this. I like this. Or we do this. My concern about doing this, Beth, is that's a great shot, but she's stuck. You know she's coming here.
I know.
And then I can't get it out.
If we peel the guard.
We can peel, that's an option. We peel that, or we come here. This is a peach.
Yeah, I know.
But she still has this option, which is gonna...
Yeah, she does, actually.
So if we do that on my next one...
This, you mean?
Yeah.
I almost like this feeling now.
That's fine.
I thought the Korean guard should have been over a little bit farther, maybe in this spot, and then that would leave this rock accessible to use later, obviously, to move the Canadian rock. So Canada can do a couple of things. They can peel, but they could also come down and move this rock here out of play, and then it's a 3-on-1 situation.
All right, I think Chris right up the stick.
Tempting to get that top red one, wouldn't it? It's tough though.
You know, they looked at all the possibilities, and it's interesting when you're in a game like this, and they've had a few mistakes from Korea now, but Korea has played so well. I think sometimes you start to think about the perfection that's coming at you and try and skip around that and just instead playing your game.
Just clean. Hard. Clean. It's fine.
Sorry, I was a little prancy in the call.
Just clean.
Playing the peel, I think Korea's going to change gears here now and tap that red. It's just hard to tell if you can tap it kind of frozen on the yellow would be a good spot. It might not clear the top yellow though. They're kind of side by side.
The tendency when you want to get a rock moved up is sometimes to throw that little extra weight. So this is a very delicate shot.
I hate to say it's a lot of ice for the Team Korea, but it looks like a lot of ice.
Line good. Line good. Oh,
And
yeah,
there it goes. And her out-turn curl.
Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. 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 Yep.
Now calling on again for Lee. And Jim looking for a little bump up here. And off the yellow. Moving the yellow back as well. And it's 1 and 2 at the moment. But are they lined up?
Who's second shot?
They are right here.
So
I
let's
don't
just
think
know
he can get all three of it.
just off. That's gonna go bang bang, bang bang.
Just off nose to try and get it to here. Can we do that?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
The only way to make the triple I see is hit that very, very thin and hope it actually comes off your own rock. That would redirect it this way and go out like that, and everything would fly.
Then ours would roll to here, right?
I don't mind nose.
But nose goes bang bang.
That's
into
fine
there.
because this
Yeah, I
will be
suppose.
second shot. I like that. Just on nose. Just on nose is good because then we got this option over here, Beth.
The only thing that I like about just off nose is leaving ours.
That's fine, but I don't want to do is do this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Well, that's not the worst either. Actually,
Well,
that's
yeah.
pretty good.
I like leaving this here for potential.
Yeah,
that.
but just thinking wise, this will row here. This will leave that double. She'd have to play this. This opens up that whole side here and leaving us here. I think I might like that. Play this. Get this out and leave these three here and our shooter here. That's actually nice.
What kind of weight are you going to throw, though, that you keep that around if you
No,
hit
I'm
it?
not. I
don't
get
think
rid
so
of that.
because then
That's
this goes onto here, Heather.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. If
no,
we
you hit this into here, get this one to go. Even if it chips this over to here, that's good. This is the one that's hurting us. It opens up, and then I've got that there. What I don't want to do is nut it and allow them to sit three here. I like that. What it might do is if you come down here, it might kick this one into there. We got to get rid of this one out of there. I like that.
Okay. Do you guys like? What do you think?
Man, I gotta.
I was looking at this into here
But it
to
won't
try
go
and kick
into there,
that.
Beth.
You
It's
don't
gonna
think so?
clip our yellow, so that's fine. That's fine. We need 7 to get it going. Just off nose, like you're calling.
Right on the 7, hey?
Yeah,
Almost?
Just off nose.
3/4.
Yeah.
3/4.
What do you think? Half a rock?
I'm wanting to get this
I know.
one.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. Like, do we need
3/4.
half a rock then? Right about there, which is a little more. Yeah.
This will run straight on us. Yep.
Okay.
There's so many options here. You'd be tempting to cross this or use the other turn, play the double. Just hit half a rock, peel weight. The top rock's gone, the very back rock's gone, and there's a lone red in there. Yes, it's at the back of the button, but you have a slash with that yellow. I'd be tempted to hit this on the other side.
Heather is in that mode that we sometimes catch her in, where her mind races a little bit and she really gets into that shot that she wants to play.
I think in fairness, if she ticks her own yellow, she might get some action on the reds. It's so hard to tell. You really have to be down there to get a good angle.
Canada with the last rock. They have the hammer here, Nate, of a 2-2 tie. Netherlands first. Mayor Peters, Iskew calling line. Run it back. What you got? Oh, she stuffed it. Spill it. Shot stone. Canada T-line 4-foot.
What happened here? I know. Wow, we hit it right on nose. Oh,
She was trying to hit it on the center line side and actually make contact with that first yellow, and it overcurled the shot that she wanted.
Can Korea get to the inside? Because they can't hit this dead on. It'll leave it possibly shot rock. But any roll off this top rock, they'll sit 3. Looks like there's room, but it is tight.
I think think we should be sitting second here, buddy.
It's only your second intern hit of the game.
Really got to get to the inside here. They're so close together, and they're staggered a little bit in Canada's favor. So as tight as to that yellow as you possibly can.
Final stone for Korea. Here in 8. Ji-sun Kim. Nope. Jim, lean, nothing. Nope. Waiting. Inside. Nope. And now, that's all that's left. Inside for a possible 1. Let's take a look at the skip numbers.
Well, again, we've talked about the remarkable performance, but it's those hits. And that intern now may be her better shot. Ji-sun Kim, 91%.
Player numbers are brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
That was a very well thrown hit.
Ever dangerous. You didn't want to tick the guard, and they played it pretty cute. Beautiful shot. Almost. If that doesn't roll quite as far, there would have been a red triple. You can see the red combination just misses the red one at the back.
No drag effect there, huh?
The drag effect would be in the wrong direction if you used your yellow rays, so it would not work. It was close. I think if that red one at the top didn't roll as far, you'd have a wide open hit to sit 3.
In a 2-2 tie. Final stone for Canada.
Easy. Whoa. No. Clean. Yep.
There's Nedohin. Uh-oh. Jump on them. Trying to hold it now. They got to have the back of the 4. Got to have the back of the 4. And there it is.
Okay, look, when gas prices jump, you still gotta work. So suddenly you're cutting back on everything from family vacations to cell phone minutes. Well, here's a thought. How about cutting back on gas? Here's how. The Ford F-150. It gets 32 miles per gallon highway. That's the best. So you can get the job done and get a break at the pump. Yeah, can you hear me now? This is the future. This is the Ford F-150.
Canadians are crazy about curling, and so are their kids. Thanks to the Capital One Rocks and Rings program, thousands of kids across Canada have learned about curling in their elementary schools. From coast to coast, Rocks and Rings has kids screaming, "Hurry hard!" and having a great time doing it. Our instructors get kids active and excited to learn about a new sport. The kids love it, the teachers love it, and the best part is, the whole program comes to you. To get Rocks and Rings in your school, visit rocksandrings.com.
Gillette wanted to see how far one ProGlide cartridge could go, so they sent me around the world to find out. One world, 5 weeks. The only thing that didn't change was my razor.
Up to 5 weeks of comfortable shaves with one ProGlide cartridge. Great things start with Gillette.
Oh, yes. Hey, how come we never watch a game at your place?
Your HD's amazing.
So switch.
Oh, changing providers.
With Bell, it's easy. One phone call, they can install as early as tomorrow.
Okay, look. The other reason I come here is I love Janet's decor. I mean, it's classic, but there's still a bit of old world whimsy about it. That chaise is lovely.
Chair.
Congratulations, Johnny! You've just won your first curling trophy by playing in the easiest bunspiel in the province. Okay, it wasn't that easy. He practiced hard. He went on a road trip with the boys to a small town he'd never heard of. He enjoyed a beverage with some new friends, where he won a toaster off the raffle table. Yes, Johnny the Hammer has had quite a year, and it all started with a click.
Time now for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge. Right after the game, go to finalend.ca and enter the secret word for a chance to win a trip for two to see the 2013 World Junior Curling Championship in Sochi, Russia. The first 100 entries will have a chance to win a $50 M&M gift card, and all participants will get an M&M discount. The secret word is coming up shortly. What a game. 3-2 Canada. Both teams have had their chances. Both teams have made some mistakes. We've seen some wonderful shot making. And here in the ninth, it will be Korea that does have the last rock playing the red star.
2-3. Easy.
A little break for Canada. Lainey put the first one in, and there was a rollout by Korea. That means they can try again to put one out in front.
Yeah, it would have been a perfect plan for Korea. Once it was in the rings, just stay and blank the end and
What was it?
try to throw one up here. This is tight too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Getting faster.
Normal.
You heard the comment, it's getting faster. That could be true. One sheet of ice, probably the biggest crowd we've had, warmer surface temperature. The surface gets a little greasy.
Trying to hold this on the corner. Uh-oh.
Okay. Push it.
On the nose. On the nose.
Yeah.
Like this?
It's
She's
splittable.
just gonna peel it up.
10.
Well, this is where you have to make a decision as Canada. Are you okay with them blanking? Are you okay with going to the 10th end with this score? Or do you want to force the issue here?
Okay.
Okay. I like the come around. Yeah, I like the come around. Or another.
Yeah, but this is splittable, Jess. That's what I don't like about it.
Chance to force the issue.
What?
I said they're just gonna rip it again. Okay.
Let's throw it.
This is a team decision you should have decided a long time ago. What is the score you want to go to the 10th end with? What is the situation, hammer or not? And everybody has a different feeling about it. And during the game, as you play this opposition, maybe you have new input. But maybe that was the time to talk about it as a team.
9-3.
Okay. Okay.
It's that age-old question, one up without hammer, one down with. Looks like Heather wouldn't mind being one up without, and Korea's quite happy to go along with that format.
Well, when you look at the scoreboard, you don't see any deuces on Korea's side, and you do see the one steal on Canada's side. So maybe you're thinking that that's a good choice, but during round robin play, Korea was actually one of the higher scoring teams and actually was quite good at getting deuces.
16.5.
Just a reminder, our coverage of NASCAR and the Nationwide Series continues. The Royal Purple 300 immediately following. We're in Fontana, in California. Joey Logano started on the pole. Nationwide NASCAR racing coming up.
2-3.
Yeah.
Easy.
3. Ooh, this is fast. Holy.
Easy.
Get on that, Heather.
15-3.
Okay.
So it's speeding up.
Well, that spot is sure lightning.
Well, they've played that a couple of times now.
Barely swept that.
It's one slight advantage they might have. Koreans throwing all the hits. They're not getting the advantage of watching that rock slide like that. So they might be able to get a heavy miss later on.
Maybe here. And enough action to spill it off.
Do you remember a game earlier this week?
Yes.
And they come around on a rock, so everybody went, that's way over there. That shouldn't do much.
14-7.
And it caused a mistake.
14.5. No, 14-7. Yeah.
This has been a big edge at this position for Canada. Beth with some wonderful shots in this game.
Gotta go. Line's great. Gotta go hard for the weight.
Should really curl here.
Go hard. Line's really good.
Peters, Mayer.
Where are we? Take a look.
Heads up.
Yeah.
T-line 7.
6.
Trying to wrap it around now.
Go. Yeah. Go. Yes.
Look at that.
How good is that? What great judgment again. Mayer and Peters.
Up. 바깥쪽만 져서 럼백 돼도 돼.
Court and shot here. Mistake on the run back here. Canada splits the rings.
Whoa. 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 Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. 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 Good shot.
Nothing to it.
Okay, bye.
For Sylvie Lee.
The only mistakes really have come on weight choices. A little bit
Sorry,
heavy
did you
on
say
some
control or
shots.
normal?
You can't
Normal.
fault Sylvie with her line of delivery.
Easy. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Just tracks her.
Okay, good throw.
Wow, that's straight.
Yeah, mine did the same. Good throw.
FSQ unable
That's
to
fine.
hold the shooter in the 12-foot.
He threw it nice. It just tracks her.
Yep, I know.
So here is that opportunity for Korea to have a look at a draw, not just use a stopwatch, but actually walk it down, brush it, see how it works.
Whoa, 열. Whoa, up. Whoa, up 괜찮아요. 워, 비싼 거 업. 워. 워. 워, 오케이. 워. 푸시잇. 넘기는 게 이제.
Control.
Okay, looks good.
Slid a long way too.
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
If I'm Heather, I'd try to put a rock in a spot, her next one in a spot that might force that out turn out of Ji-Sun Kim, because we have had a couple mistakes. 3 overcurls that I can remember.
Like a 10, okay?
Yep. Okay, nice throw, Heather.
There was a couple of mistakes in 7 that caught Heather, really one unlucky one and then one mistake. Otherwise, has played very well.
Don't touch it, Lainey. We're rolling out right now.
Okay.
Wow, that's straight. Ooh.
And rolling out they are.
Gotten straighter.
Yeah, that 7th was the, if it ever goes to, comes a Korean loss, that might be the end they look back at too, Linda. It's,
Just believe that it's
where they had their chance.
Yeah.
Definitely a 2 or even a 3 possible that end for Korea.
아니, 괜찮아. 들어오라서 괜찮아.
Now, if you can, you should get this back as deep as you can. Less room to roll with your last one.
That's remarkable. Round robin, she played very well. Lots of difficult situations for Ji-Sun, but what a day today. Just a little bit of overcurl now on that out turn hit, but otherwise she has been very good.
That's flying.
그냥 냅둬.
Everybody just walking with this. It's curious how this. Neither team right now is adjusted to it.
Yep.
So here's your chance, Russ, that you were saying. If you could ever get it in a spot and force her to play which particular turn?
I think the out turn's the key. Not as and of course, in this case, she can throw whichever turn she wants, but it's the mistake have been the out turn. So if I like this, moving it around a little bit. I think if this goes over to the left-hand side, she'll play in turn at it. The mistakes have been out turns narrow. Not that there's been many at 92%.
Yeah, I think you're 15.
14-8 will be good. 05 to 10, Heather.
T-line. Take a look, guys.
Mare and Peters, heads are up, heads are down. T-line.
14-9. Looks pretty good. Nice weight, Heather.
Where is it? T-line.
Head down, ass up. There you go.
Just wanted to get it going. Thoroughbreds, 14-9. Thoroughbreds. Don't forget it.
Yeah.
Push it. Okay.
Final stone, looking for the blank to take the last rock to the 10th, trailing by 1. Korea and Ji-Sun Kim want the blank, want it badly here. Catch it, roll it, and out it goes. So, another blank. 4th of the game. Canada leads, but Korea will have the last rock coming home.
2012 Ford World Women's Curling is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association.
Is that live TV on your phone?
Yeah, I'm catching the game now.
That's TV? How many channels you got?
26.
Let me see. Oh, I love that show.
Isn't that your number?
I'm in no hurry. Shove over, darling. Oh. Now see, that's how you treat a woman.
Valve brings you superphones with over 25 live TV channels.
Okay, look. When gas prices jump, you still gotta work. So suddenly you're cutting back on everything from family vacations to cell phone minutes. Well, here's a thought. How about cutting back on gas? Here's how. The Ford F-150. It gets 32 miles per gallon highway. That's the best. So you can get the job done and get a break at the pump. Yeah, can you hear me now? This is the future. This is the Ford F-150.
Canadians are crazy about curling, and so are their kids. Thanks to the Capital One Rocks and Rings program, thousands of kids across Canada have learned about curling in their elementary schools. From coast to coast, Rocks and Rings has kids screaming, "Hurry hard!" and having a great time doing it. Our instructors get kids active and excited to learn about a new sport. The kids love it, the teachers love it, and the best part is, the whole program comes to you. To get Rocks and Rings in your school, visit rocksandrings.com.
Daniel and Grace dream of retiring. Proper protection, an emergency savings plan, adequate retirement income, and taking the trip of a lifetime to Paris. But how can Daniel and Grace make their dreams come true? At World Financial Group, we help families like Daniel and Grace make their financial dreams a reality. Let us help your family too. World Financial Group, your dreams, our strategies.
Gillette wanted to see how far one ProGlide cartridge could go, so they sent me around the world to find out. One world, 5 weeks. The only thing that didn't change was my razor.
Up to 5 weeks of comfortable shaves with one ProGlide cartridge. Great things start with Gillette.
The 2012 Ford World Women's Curling is brought to you by Scotty's, proud supporter of women's curling for over 30 years. By M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. And by World Financial Group, proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies.
Well, it's time now for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge, and the secret word is HOG. Right after the game, go to finalend.ca and enter that secret word HOG for a chance to win a trip for two to see the 2013 World Junior Curling Championships in Sochi, Russia. No hog stones so far in this one. Canada with a 3-2 lead over Korea.
Certainly wasn't last end, Vic. Everything was deep. It's interesting. It looks like it's a shade faster, and the team that figures that out should win this game.
Nice adjustment by both teams, both able to get those guards out in front. Of course, for Korea, if that had slid in, that would have been disaster. That's the only one you get before peels can be made. So nicely done.
Lainey Peters to the top edge of the 4-foot center line. That's her guard as well, sitting out in front now.
She has been remarkable once more. The difference that top 4-foot rock makes in these games, slide back for, and it hands the advantage over to the opposition.
Peters, the birthday girl on this Saturday here in Lethbridge. The winner, of course, moves on to play in the semi-final tonight against Switzerland.
Okay.
Wenji Jim down on the corner.
If they get to finish that time, there's room.
6-4. What'd you get on hers?
14.8, I thought.
I think that 15 though.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Line's a little tight. Yep, you can go. Yep.
Oh, for line only now. Hiskey, Peters.
6. Whoa. 5. Whoa. 6. Yep. Yes.
Maybe a little inside, and they get across the nose a little bit.
Whoa.
Atta girl.
Okay. Nice shot.
Shot stone still is the Canadian rock, top edge of the 4-foot center line covered.
This is difficult with that corner guard staring at the thrower here. You have to, it's a very small hole with the amount of movement there is.
라인 굿. 살짝 타이트하니까 웨이트만.
You have to expect that in this situation, these angles do favor Canada, not just the way the stones are positioned, but the experience in playing them and setting it up. This is a tough shot. Has to come to the face of the yellow.
Mi Sung-shin. They've got that shot stone now surrounded.
I like playing that one. But then all our rocks are on one side. Can't get to the inside of this. Why not? Because it's corner buried.
I kind of like that.
Yep.
Ooh, I like
board.
Beth,
Board
what do you like the other side? We're gonna have all our rocks on one side.
The other thing, Heather, is this side. We could play hack and stay right there on the red.
I know, but not yet. Okay?
I don't. Are you
Board,
sure?
right on the nose.
Okay. Okay, board weight, guys. All right. Let's go, Jess, straight up.
Perfect first throw by Jessica, a little to the inside of the Korean rock, so it's easy to raise.
Boy, it's going to be really tight on that center line guard. Very tight on it. Hiskey, Peters, very tight on that guard. Trying to hold it for her. Trying to get it by the guard. Great brush, great brush.
It even touched the guard, and they managed to get it so that it was a thin tip.
Wow.
Oh my God, we touched that. We touched that.
Just a little bit.
I thought I was gonna lose a lung. Great.
Nice. She's tight, Lainey. Go, 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 go.
I was like, no, I'm not.
이렇게요.
Korea has to clean something up here. You can run it back along a slight angle, take the one off the button. Or if you hit it high side, where on the broom side, you might get the top yellow and into the pile. You hit this just a hair off center, you might save the guard and guard your own red one. Most importantly, you got to start moving some yellow.
Lee Sung-shin running something back, and we'll get rid of one Canadian stone. Opens up that center line,
but also guards their own, Vic.
That's
beautiful shot.
Beautiful shot, and well called. Those angles are not easy. Anticipated the brushing beautifully as well.
Wow, now what do you do?
Let's go back. Okay, let's go back. Straight up here.
That doesn't look like a lot. What turn am I taking?
Beth's out turn floats just a hair. We talked to her today about it a little bit, so the zero ice here, but I think that's in the right spot. You certainly can't miss it high side and run it into the yellow rock, your own rock.
Down here. No handle.
Boy, no handle. Trying to hold it now. Mayor Peters. And they'll peel it off.
That's fine. That had no handle. Yeah.
Well, a week from today, we will be in Basel, Switzerland for the World Men's Curling Championship. It all begins at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And the opening game will be against Thomas Dufour from France, from Chamonix, next Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, as we follow the Canadian champions, Glenn Howard. Coach's visit called for.
아, 그런다고? 지금 아니면 아예 갔다가 붙여야 되는데 붙이다가 잘못 살려버리면 더블이 그냥 쉽게 나와.
더블이 쉬우니까. 그러면 마지막에가 더블을 좀 잘하더라고.
첫 번째.
네. 오케이.
일로 와도 더블은 못 때린다고.
오케이.
그렇지? 베이트 조절 잘했어. 이거한테 쉬면 안 된다.
네.
어?
네.
무슨 말인지
아니면
알겠어?
이렇게 벌어져도 되죠?
이렇게 해서 분리시 돼도 돼.
이렇게 아예 벌어져도
이렇게 해서 분리시 돼야 돼. 그러니까
1번, 2, 3번만 되게.
이렇게만 맞으면 안 돼. 이렇게만 맞으면 안 된다고.
근데 이게 이렇게 벌어지진 않을 것 같고 이게 좀 막.
그러니까 지금 봐. 여기서 무빙으로 가야 된다고 이렇게. 아니 이렇게
You know, go back to
맞아도
what we
무빙으로
were
이렇게
saying
막
earlier
올라가.
about them watching tapes, listening, learning. I mean, all these situations, would they have seen this somewhere along the line, Linda? It's almost like you'd need a photograph. You'd want to go, what? And you look at, where is that picture? Where did we see that back in 2009?
You try and recognize the pattern, Vic, and the pattern is you have second shot in there. What is the timing of trying to set up the deuce, moving in to get at shot rock?
Two choices. You can obviously just, this late in the end, you can actually try to split the house by making a perfect hit and roll. The other option would just become right down here. That would be an interesting play, but it would have to be made perfect, or you could set up a red double.
I think we know this team well enough that they're going to play some sort of hit. Depends on the weight. They have to save the shooter.
We'll probably set up a red double, no matter where you roll, because the angle should be there, but it still has to be made.
Sylvie Lee, as we play third stones. Canada with a 3-2 lead here in the 10th. Oh, there's a big scrub trying to hold this for her now. Going to tick her own first. Yep. So it over curls, catches the Korean stone first.
I think that was the plan. That had to
Really?
be, because they weren't brushing it early.
Oh, and then all the applause from the coach.
They rolled in front of the Canadian stone, And push the other one back for third shot.
Min Suk Shui liked it.
I'll tell you what, it was better than my options. You know, sitting two was what you would normally do, but it would probably set up a double. There is no double now. Fantastic shot.
Great shot, and what a great coaching decision.
Just hair short is fine too.
We're going to have one of them to hit. We should be still shot over
two,
here.
It's fine.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
Partially undercover too. The red raise is makeable later at the top of the 8-foot.
Remember what we said earlier about Heather Nedohin talking about this Korean team and saying how she sometimes is surprised by what they play, how they play it. Would she have been surprised by that?
14-7.
Yep.
Well, I think so. It was a great decision. It was a very good, quiet choice. Remember the problems they've had so far of being heavy. That was just a little split, and making a split and not leaving a double was very difficult.
The good news for Canada, though, if they become a second shot here, it's going to be tough to score the two because you'll have to group the reds a little bit, but still it's forced Beth to a difficult shot.
Beth Iskew trying to play the corner freeze on the stone, just back 8 foot behind the tee line.
Stay with it. To it. Easy. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
They say the weight is there to it.
8. No. Sit.
And to it and more.
That's good. Good shot, Beth. Good throw. Control.
That little bounce gives Korea a wonderful chance to sit second, third, and fourth.
핵이 좋을 것 같아. 핵, 오케이. 핵.
Keep in mind, you look at that yellow one on the button and the red one beside it. If it comes down to a guard, if Canada has to decide to play a guard, it's tough to guard both those shots.
This one's really curling.
Get it by the guard first. They did that. Now across the nose, avoid the jam. They did that too.
They have beautiful curl with that intern. I maybe suggest they play it a little more often. It's that lovely all the way down the ice movement.
Looks good.
Now it's making this angle freeze tougher because it's now slightly in front of the tee line.
It's funny how we noticed that they're an out-turn team, but I see a lot of good things in those interns that they throw.
It's just not busting like it used to, so just leave us.
Okay. Still like that 105, Heather.
Okay. Right on tee. Stay hair more, Beth. Yeah.
The only thing you cannot do here is overcurl.
Good throw here.
You sit two somewhere, preferably on the corner of that red one.
Skip Stones in this nervous 10th.
Round to it.
Canada leading. Heather Nedohin in her first. Calling it deep.
No.
Mayer and Peters haven't put a
Whoa. Don't touch it.
lick to it.
Sit.
And down beside. They are sitting two.
What was that, Lainey?
잘 때리면 다 날아가요. 괜찮아요. 저거 잼 안 나요.
Okay. No more long now?
Up.
One point they looked at the double, Linda, there's a good chance it'll jam on the reds.
I think they're still looking at it.
It'd be tempting to hit the yellow one that Heather just threw. What does Heather do if you hit that yellow?
Of course, they don't have any more coach interactions, the Korean side, so they're on their own for calling these shots.
Tough call. First of all, it's a difficult shot. There's a pretty good chance the second yellow, one that was just thrown, will jam on the side reds. I guess it's possible, but you have to get it pretty thick.
That's all right.
We talked about her out turn. The only blemish I've seen is, and you have to look pretty hard, is that this spot right here.
Ji-Sun Kim. And her first. Boy, hands go up. Back away. Sylvie Lee, Unji Jim. Back away. Back away. Now, one cross. Jams it at the back. Jammed at the back. But at the moment, Korea is sitting 2. And time has been called for a call on the coach by Canada.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, we can.
You had to hit it thicker. They didn't quite have the angle. You see them talking about it now. They were thinking about if they get that thicker, they wouldn't have jammed. And that's what we call, but it jammed. But the top one became available to sit to.
What are you guys looking at?
Daryl Horn has made his way down.
What do you like, Daryl?
I'm liking the freeze here.
Just freeze to the nose?
Freeze to the nose. Yep. I think freeze to the nose.
What if we drew back 4?
She's got the run.
Then she plays the raise.
She's got a short run.
Wait, corner freeze, Daryl?
Yeah, but then
if you corner freeze, she just noses it,
yeah,
right?
that's right.
So I think on the nose.
Here, or we come around to here. But then she's got that short run.
It's a pretty short run.
It is a short run, but it's a hit.
Yeah,
but this is a pretty simple tap, too, for her.
Okay, so
for
right to the nose?
Well, but if we freeze here, she has a tap for 2.
So we have to be shot. Yeesh.
Daryl, is that true?
What's that?
What do you think?
Well, she's going to have a shot whatever we do here. She's going to have a shot whatever we do. Time's up. 10 seconds.
Okay. What do you guys like?
That back there.
Can you is there any double to play? It's tough. It's tough.
It's a tough double.
That is a really thin double. But if we remove this, we're second shot.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We're not second shot.
If we remove this?
No, we're not second shot. This is second shot.
No, okay, sorry, but this would be, if we remove this, this would be 1, we'd be 2.
No, we would be 1 here. This is 2.
Okay.
Okay.
So then she
Time's in for the Canadians. They have 2:15 remaining.
What do you like, Heather? You got to throw it.
Yeah. What do you like?
I'm not too sure what I like, girls. I think this is not the worst.
Okay.
I don't mind this.
Okay.
We're good. We've got 2 minutes. It's tons of time.
Let's freeze on it, okay?
Like the hit and roll?
Yep. That's what you like?
Do you like the hit and roll? You don't like this? Because she has to deal with both of our yellows. Oh, no.
No, she'd be drawing in. That's what we're saying.
Okay, sorry.
One option is the thin double, very tough. Another option that they didn't talk about is playing that double, staying right here. And then it's a little bit tricky to actually make this yellow. But the freeze is a good call, but it has to be absolutely perfect. If it's here, the red one will go back onto the yellow. This goes out easily, and they score 3 or 4.
At 100, 105.
You know, it's funny about the double that you talked about. I think that's what Jessica was trying to say, and they never really understood, and she was misunderstanding the position of the rocks, not knowing who would be shot rock.
Now you make that double, you sit for shot, you're right in front of the other yellow. Yes, they still have a little soft hit and flop for 2, but this is so difficult. We talked about freezes all year. Has to be right on the corner.
Well, this is a shot of the year for Canada. A must-have shot here. Hanging out a little bit. Maybe going to take the little rub and over on top. Oh,
Jesus, good call.
Goodness gracious.
What a spectacular call by Beth Iskew to change that around. That was totally missed.
At first it looked like I was going to raise the red, then it looked like it might curl and go through the hole. Wonderful call. Right here.
They don't brush it. Linda curls a hair more. It rolls right in the hole, and it's a wide open hit to get 3 or 4.
And then right up on top.
It is second shot. This is a tap for the win for Korea.
Maybe the best we could have done.
I said the perfect freeze is so
With
tough
the
to
wind.
do. To make it off a side rock is just spectacular call.
Now, this is going to show the nerves of this young Korean skip.
Not easy, is it? You
That's
can't hit a half of it. It goes the other way. The beautiful part about that freeze is it's half in the forefoot. Line and weight here.
For the win. Right now, it's going to an extra. Focusing in.
Now the crowd made a little noise there, so she did the right thing. I think actually it was he sung in the house that sort of put her hand up.
안 보이는데요?
잠깐만 일로 와봐봐.
Right.
왜요?
Still not sure. They have 6:15 remaining, so there's no time problem here for Korea.
She was talking about a hit, and that was a definite wave off by Ji-sun.
Ming Sung Shin is in the holding the brush. Right now it's a 1 point for Korea to force the extra.
You saying prayers?
I'm trying to decide if I want to look or if I don't want to look.
As they scoot with her head down. May not want to watch.
기다려야 돼, 루미야. 어디?
Final stone on the way.
라인 괜찮아져.
Looking for this little tap that might give them the win and put them into the semifinal. Nothing yet from Sylvie Lee or Eun-ji Jim. This is for the tap. This is for the tap. And oh, they may want to put a stick. No,
it's too big.
It is. Korea will get the win. Korea will continue this wonderful week here in Lethbridge. They will move on to the semifinal tonight. Korea will now play Switzerland, Canada, and Heather Nedohin will regroup and play for a bronze medal here at the Worlds. The Koreans celebrate, and why not? When you go from last year 2-9 to this year and playing in the semifinal. And that's what we'll have for you when we join you again tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Can they keep it going? Ji-sun Kim against Switzerland and Miriam Ott, 8 p.m. Eastern from here in Lethbridge.
And back inside the SportsCenter newsroom, I'm Corey Warren with his SportsCenter update. Just one afternoon game in the NHL today, and what a huge game for the Calgary Flames facing the Stars in Dallas. 2-1 Stars. Late in the third, Jamie Benn gets his second of the game. Dallas wins 4-1. Calgary now 3 points back of 8th with 6 games to play. Florida and Louisville fighting for a spot in the Final Four. Late first half, Kenny Boynton knocks down the 3. Florida leading this game by 7 in the second half. Third round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Tiger, on 15. It goes way left, lands in the backyard, out of bounds. Homeowners taking a picture with the ball. This is his third shot to put it on the green. He would double bogey the hole. Tiger leading by 1 through 16 holes of play. And Nick Backstrom has been cleared for full participation in Capitals practice. We'll have more on that coming up on SportsCenter.
We watch on as the fastest animal in the world thrives in our cities. We stand in awe of the resiliency of a mighty icon. And we share ancient stories of a powerful symbol the world over. Join the Royal Canadian Mint and celebrate our legendary nature. Keep the coins or visit mint.ca/legendary to learn more.
Pop in a whole new kind of clean with new Tide Pods. A powerful 3-in-1 detergent that cleans, brightens, and fights stains. Pop in, stand out.
People have a lot of misconceptions about California, but none of them are really true.
None of them.
They think we're all surfers.
Or celebrities. That we're all into yoga.
And that everyone owns a winery.
Or skateboard.
And that we all drive convertibles.
Where do they get these ideas? Like how we all live in bikinis. And act like movie stars.
You want to know the truth about California? Get out here.
We'll show you how we roll.
Start your trip at visitcalifornia.com.
We are 10,000 people in Brazil, holding our breath. We are alone. We are all in. We are poker. We are PokerStars.net.
Comes down to one shot, and it's Korea sitting one tee line, 4 foot, and here she comes, Ji-Sun Kim.
Well, we knew the technique was there. We knew the strategy was getting better, but can you handle this in front of a crowd that really didn't want them to make this shot? Everybody overthrows this shot. They waited, they waited, they waited. Right there, it's still not going to make it. Will it curl enough? Yes. Will it slow down? Yes.
And just enough. The hand comes out from Beth Iskew. Gloves come off from Team Canada. And it is Korea and Ji-Sun Kim who are in to the semifinal.
It was a style of game that Korea wanted, wide open. Canada finally in 3 got some rocks in play and forced to score, but back and forth the whole game, and that delicate tap and those big numbers for Korea, an impressive performance.
The game story brought to you by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. And with their supporters here and acknowledging the Korean community here in southern Alberta and in the Lethbridge area, Ji-Sun Kim now moves on after the win. They will play Miriam Ott, and Switzerland will have it for you this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. My goodness. What a turnaround. What a day for Korean curling as they are into the semis of the 2012 Ford Women's World Curling Championships. So till we talk with you again this evening, thank you for joining us here on Canada's sports leader, TSN. Nationwide, NASCAR is coming up.
You're watching TSN, Canada's sports leader, a division of Bell Media. Due to the length of our previous event,